It's 2 p.m. Detroit, and you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
And of course, don't forget about Anson, Peace Spivak, as well as Ricky in the building. Here we are. It's Friday. Good afternoon to the people, man. Thank you for joining us here at Woodward Sports, man. Anson Wells filling in with Braylon Edwards. You see the shades, you see the vibes. Good energy to all. Anson, how's your Friday going?
I mean, it feels like summer today.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
It does. And we will actually start the show there as I welcome in Tom Mazaway as he's sitting in the $15,000 Ironman chair that you guys have grown to love.
Call me Tony Stark.
Gonna be T Stark?
Yes.
I'm pretty
What's
sure
up,
he's
fellas?
had some fun summer.
I'm in a good mood. My next one. We'll hit them later.
We'll hit them.
They're alive.
Tom Stark.
So look, this is how we're gonna do this as we welcome in Ricky Burns,
What's up? What's up?
Peace Spivak.
What's going on, everybody?
We'll get to the Indiana Pacers and the Knicks in the second hour of the show. You guys know what happened there. Also, neither one of you guys, no one here is from New York or Indianapolis. I do not think.
I am.
Save that. You're from Jersey, so technicality.
Oh, come on.
I technicality you.
Really?
Get him, Bray.
I'm so sorry, man.
Okay.
You're absolutely a New Yorker. That was disrespectful. You're from New Jersey, but you are a true
I
New
looked
Yorker.
out my
I
bedroom
give you
window,
that.
and there's the Empire State Building.
Yep.
You can't get
That's
closer
crazy.
than me.
You know what, Matt? You're absolutely correct. So I won't argue with you
All
today.
right.
We also have a lot of Lion sound. Excited to get to that. I feel like we've been starving for some news, some notes from Dan Campbell and the players. And guess what? We have all that for you. But before we get there, how about some fun? How about some fun? I
Yeah.
was thinking it's nice outside. I was like, man, I remember being a kid. That would be fun. So here's what we'll do. Anson, we start with you. What was your most fun activity as a kid? So that can be whatever age to whatever age. And then what was your most most fun activity in the summer as an adult? Kid, adult, summer, go.
Riding bikes.
That is
That was
We,
mine.
we have a
that's-
crew called
okay.
OSCH, Old School Carriage Hill. Shout out to my 20. But we had 20 guys that remain friends still to this day. Man, we had
The
a
stick
horde of,
part of that?
we had a we're still crew. I mean, but half of them are in my dynasty
No, I
leagues.
mean the stick part of it.
No,
stick.
he's a West Sider.
Okay.
He's a West Sider.
Yeah, State grew up over here.
But yeah, no, I mean we grew up kind of in the farm country,
county,
in a
baby.
little subdivision, so we just take those bikes everywhere. A couple guys had sprees if we really needed to get somewhere. And now, as a young man, Electric Forest movement, get me to a techno festival.
I got you some festivals outside that provide
sir.
that energy. Side note, Michigan is one of those states where that east-west thing is very real.
Yes.
I have some friends, Ricky, I'm sure you do as well.
Yeah.
I have some friends to this day that are my age that have never been to the west side of Detroit. They're
Yep.
the east siders. And I got west side friends that have never been to the east side.
Unless there's a
West
boat involved.
side. True.
Right.
That's the only time.
And that you kind of have to get around it so you get a pass for that, though.
West Siders only come east about 3-4 months a year.
Right. Correct.
I lived on both sides. I will classify myself or identify, as they like to say in 2025, as a West Sider. But I got love for both. I
Yes,
know
you
the
do.
east side like
Always
the back
have.
of my hand, much like I do the west side. Ricky,
Yes.
it's on you. As a kid, what were you? And then as an adult, what became your
So
most
I
fun
got to
activity?
kind of piggyback off Anson. I love riding a
is-
bike.
yeah.
Pause. I love riding a bike, but not only just riding a bike. I love just when you would get on a bike, you had no idea what was about to happen. You would just get on and leave with your friends. You
Okay,
could end up,
there
you know
you
what I'm
go.
saying? You could end up playing football, basketball. You could end up in the woods or whatever. That was
Always
my
an
favorite part of it. But
adventure.
yeah, there was really no plan. Like somebody just pull up, we just leave. And as an adult, now it's golf, man. Any sunny day, if I can get out and golf early, I'm golfing, man. That's my favorite thing to do in the summertime now.
Man, I'm telling you like this, that bike riding, you are absolutely correct. You jump on the bikes with your crew like, hey, look, we're just riding, and that riding
Right.
turns into somebody's house. They took too long. You end up playing basketball.
Right.
You were across the street. The playground was full. You know what? Shoot, somebody got a football around here. Or you just get
Right.
to riding on the bicycles, look up, and you're like, they were like 4 or 5 miles from the crib.
Right?
Absolutely correct. on
Yeah.
that.
Or you pull up to somebody's house and you see other bikes you recognize.
That's right.
Yeah, oh, there it is.
It's over.
Bikes outside back
Right.
then were the cell phone.
Yeah.
The bikes outside was like, okay, I see John and them over at Chris's house. So I
Right.
said,
We there.
Good point. You're taking me back, man. You're taking
Right?
me back.
You taking us back.
Look, I told you, we got lion sound, but man, this is pretty interesting. You in the chat, man, get in there, talk about what summer means to you as a kid or meant as a kid and what it means to you now as an adult in terms of the activities. Tom Mazaway, the resident New Yorker, respect.
Yes, sir.
As a kid, what was it? And as an adult, what is it?
Well, every single day we played ball. Every single day. I grew up
Baseball?
on 73rd Street. My friends were on 74th through 78th Street. We would all get together at Robert Fulton Grammar School. We had the schoolyard. Great place. The place to play. We got wiffle ball in, stick ball.
Yeah.
We would be on 73rd Street. I'd have to put a guy on 74th Street to get the pinky that we were hitting with the stick ball bat, with the broom handle. We'd have guys that literally, we parked a block away to try to make the out. It was so much fun, man. And yeah, I rode my bike as well. I had my Apollo Racer. It was black, had the banana
Racer.
seat. It was phenomenal.
Did you have the radio flyer wagon?
I did. We had one of
There
those.
we go.
Did you put a baseball card in the tire?
I did. We did that. We traded football and baseball cards. We put the scrubs we put on the spokes. All the scrubs were
What
on
I
the
say to you
spokes.
earlier.
And but wiffle ball and stick ball, basketball and street football, we lived it every single day. And now, obviously, as a grown ass man, I take care of my pool. That's all I do.
There you
I
go,
take
man.
care of my pool, and I play some old great music. That's me, man, in the summer.
Can I rewind to stickball? Because I have been
ahead.
fascinated by stickball my whole life. I've never
Fabulous.
played it.
Okay.
Seems like a city thing. You know, I played plenty of baseball
It's like an
growing
East
up.
Coast city thing.
But have you ever played stickball?
I have.
Is it that? It seems like it's a lot harder. It's a smaller bat.
It
Sure
is.
is.
It's hard. And I'm telling you like this, man. You talk about hand-eye coordination. Like this is a little story. That's how Bryce Harper. That's how he got
Yeah.
his skills together. His dad did the bean and the stick, and then with the wind, the fan blowing. But yeah, I got to play. I got to play a little bit. I actually went back and played when I was in New York. Like, 'cause we used to just be
Very
around
cool.
the city when I was playing for the Jets. We were everywhere. Let's just say that. They were still playing stickball in the city in like 09, 10. We definitely joined some games in the summertime.
I
in
love
between
it. Leagues.
partying, if you will.
I'm
If you wanted to
envious.
keep the ball anywhere near, you would use a tennis ball.
Right.
Because the tennis ball doesn't fly as much as the pinky. And you know what a pinky? They called it a Spalding.
The Spalding.
It's a Spalding, but they called it a Spalding. That's what it was. The pinky.
Like a
I still have a couple at home. One in my drawer at my desk, which I grab and I'm just take the pressure off a little
Yeah.
bit. And I got a couple in the garage. Man, I wouldn't trade my childhood for anything in the world.
Well, maybe we need to get together and do a Woodward Sports stickball event.
I
'cause,
agree.
I
we do
love
have a
that.
guy here named Stick. So
We do.
That's a good
there you
Love
go.
it.
We
Pete,
do.
it's on you, brother. What was it like then? What was it like now in the summer?
Tell you what, for a being an overgrown adult now as overgrown child now as an adult, and maybe the events are still the same, but no, as a young kid, guys, you know, as I said, I always wanted to drive race cars and to train and be a race car driver. So hear me out, everybody out there, and I know you guys are, especially Anson and I know Maz, maybe the big wheel. Riding the big wheel. Now, I was so lucky.
Which one did you have?
I had the it was red, yellow, and blue. I forget the name of it. With the clicks on the, you would have the click on the back tires.
It was
as you
the
go.
original big wheel. That was the original big wheel.
Yeah, the original big wheel.
Yeah.
Yep. So I basically had the original big wheel, and
the
so
black tires.
we grew up. We had a little bit of money growing up, so we had a little bit of property. So I'd ride the big wheel around the pool and then through the driveway as well, just trying to just max it out as just to see how much I can how close could I come to destroying this thing as possible. So I was racing and so I was basically teaching myself to drive at like 3-4 years old, and that kept up. Then we went to the bikes, then we went to t-ball, wiffle ball, all that fun stuff. But now as an adult, man, I used to play golf all the time, but I tell you what, now that the life has beaten the living you-know-what out of me, and I'm 50 years old, my favorite activity as an adult now, even in the summer, is just kicking back and taking it easy, sitting outside and just enjoying the day. That's just that simple, Bray.
Nothing wrong with that. Look, I promise I won't go golf. I know everybody's waiting for me to say golf is the dog, so I won't do golf. As a kid, man, it's definitely sports. You know, I think if I just led with sports, like Maz, to this day I have friends from my neighborhood that see me and said, we knew. Because everybody else is trying to do a certain thing. All I want to do is play football.
Yeah.
Like all I want to do is play football in the street, in the field, in the backyard. It didn't matter. I want to play football. I'll settle for basketball, but I want to play football. So that was my thing. But specifically, there was a camp at Wayne State called NYSP. It was National Youth Sports Program that they had at Wayne State. I went there from 12, 13, and 14. The camp was amazing. You get there at noon. You get a chance to pick what sports you want to do in your weekly regiment. Mine was swimming. I did track. I did gymnastics. And I did baseball. And then you got a chance to mingle, mix in with, you know, the other sexes, they will. This is where I learned a little bit of my game.
Yeah, it's
12,
always that
14.
summer camp.
This builds it up. You know, they will let us get the ice cream truck that
Had
would
nothing to do
come
with
out
your
on
looks,
Mac. So it was just great, man. You get the chance to go to NYSP camp, do a multitude of sports that you'll never play in real life, and then from there, get to go to McDonald's because at that time, if you remember, the Monopoly game was popular. So that my memory of summer is 12 to 14, NYSP, McDonald's Monopoly, running
That's
track at King in the summer, and then figuring out what we're doing on the weekends. McDonald's Monopoly, man, that goes hand in hand with my.
They cheated in that game.
I saw
You
it
ever
on
see that documentary?
HBO. They hired people that were
They
related.
cheated.
But it was
That's-
it's interesting because it was so many people involved that McDonald's didn't cheat, but the
Right.
company that they partnered
Yes.
with,
Right.
they
Yeah.
cheated.
That is
That's
it.
what it was. So McDonald's
That
got
was
the bad
something.
rap.
You guys ever want to watch that? It is.
Fat is it
You can
McDonald's
find it.
Monopoly money?
Yeah.
I think that's what
think
it's
that's
called.
what it's
know
called.
that. I gotta watch
I
it.
felt so dumb watching that documentary. Just all the time and money I spent chasing pieces I was never
you weren't
ever
alone,
ever
bro.
gonna
Gonna get it.
But here's the thing, and this is why you should. McDonald's was so cheap back then.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh,
It was
it
so
was.
cheap back then.
They haven't
Yeah,
changed.
you're right.
You say back then.
Be
Nah,
honest.
it's
McDonald's,
different now.
McDonald's ain't cheap now. Like
You can
it-
still get a good meal for $5.
I
Nah,
thought you,
right?
you meant the
anymore.
cost was cheap. I thought you meant them as a
quality-
company
oh,
was cheap.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
No.
Right, you can still get a good meal for $5.
They just put that back on
Yeah, I
there
love
about
that.
6
Yeah.
months ago.
Right.
Remember we did the whole show?
Oh, yeah.
It's like a meal at McDonald's now. If you got a large,
It's like $13.
Right.
more, but
Yeah.
yes.
Can we take the
Expensive.
good out of there and just say a meal?
It's a meal.
Yeah.
Okay.
To me,
You know what?
That's
It's not a bad meal.
it's a yum meal.
It's
not
a
a
meal.
meal.
It's
a
a
That's
good
meal.
quick lunch.
We got
That's
some
not a
super
quick one.
chats.
Hold on. You didn't
Oh,
finish
oh,
the adult.
oh,
Let
my-
me get the adult, and then you take over the super chat because I definitely want to hear what are you guys in the summer back then and now? As an adult, it's boating. As an adult, it was boating. I got a
Boating.
boat
I was
in
not expecting
2009. Yeah, I got a boat in 2009, man. I parked at the Riverfront Marina, and then 2010 we parked at the DYC. It's just nothing like being on a boat. Nothing like understanding that what comes with boating. I'm not talking about just getting on there and driving your boat and parking it or letting somebody drive your boat. I'm talking about like Maz says he takes care of his pool. I'm talking about understanding starboard, port, understanding what the gas costs, understanding the wake situation, understanding just kind of the culture that is boating. It's a fun culture, and it's nothing like being on the water.
I have a
man.
question for you.
Go ahead.
We've all heard it. The greatest 2 days of a boat owner's life is the day he buys a boat and the day he sells it. Do you also subscribe to that? Do you still own your boat?
No. First time, no.
See?
Literally, first time I pulled up to the gas station, and they were like 1,100. I said,
Right.
yeah, this ain't gonna last long.
No.
First time I walked the litter, I had a 48-foot
Wow.
Sea Ray. Shout out to Relentless.
Was that in Miami?
It was here.
Oh, wow.
I had it here. DYC, Riverfront Marina.
Sweet.
$1,100 they charged me to fill that thing up. I said, I got about 2-3 years of this.
Yep.
We sold it, bought it 9, sold it in 13. It was fun though.
Yeah.
Like, it was extremely fun. Interested, Anson? Get us to the super chats. What's everybody talking
And they love the topic. They love the topic. Michael Wary chimed in first. He said, as a child playing baseball and riding his bike. I love that our generation and the generations before.
fabulous.
These poor kids.
Love it.
Can they even keep a bike?
Yeah,
upright?
no, they do. I'm gonna defend these kids. There's a lot of kids in my neighborhood. They're
Okay.
still outside.
All right,
This
good.
kid's still
Outside?
outside.
See,
All
my
right.
neighborhood, they're all on golf carts.
Really? Nah.
Now mine
yeah,
is,
that's
yeah.
too
It's
much.
unbelievable. Like there's
Mine's-
25 golf carts in my sub.
I think we're a tax bracket below. These kids got bikes still.
Washington Township.
That is fair.
All right, then, and Michael Wary
Ricky, I'm in your hood.
Michael Wary doubled down
Kids
with
ride
2 of
bikes in
these.
my
He wanted to
neighborhood.
let us know that as an adult, he loves golfing and grilling.
Ooh,
Golfing
grilling.
and grilling.
Great one. Great one.
Nobody,
tonight.
as an adult, brown bagging it down the block with my boy Ulysses. Get some Mexican food, ice cream,
Ulysses.
2 chairs
Okay.
in the driveway, chilling to do anything Do it one.
That sounds like a Southwest Detroit type vibe, right?
Certainly do.
It does. It definitely sounds
Ulysses and
Southwest.
Augustine.
Heck yeah, riding
I'm
the
down.
bike and getting some of that good old Mexican.
And then Cue Ball 93, yesterday's winner.
Yes.
Shout out to
I
Cue
did get your
Ball.
address, and it is packaged and should be going out today or at the very latest on Monday. But he says yard work, sadly.
I was gonna ask how many people here are yard work, lawn. I know
My
a lot
wife
of people
loves
garden.
that. She
100%.
lives in the garden. I hate it.
This is,
I absolutely hate it. I think I'd rather shovel snow.
Some people love
They
that.
do you
yard
enjoy?
work.
But do you enjoy coming home to the finished
Oh,
product?
it's beautiful.
Of gardening?
Yes. It's absolutely beautiful
So
when it's all
pool does
done.
not qualify as yard work.
No, it's
Even
just
though
a
it's
damn.
in your yard.
It's just a damn pool. That's what it is.
Damn pool.
And I'll tell you, the geese have not been kind to my pool this year so far. I had to open it earlier than I usually would open it because I had to put a new liner in it. Not me, of course. I hired Rob the pool
But that's
guy.
you. That's
Yeah.
called you.
All right,
You
so it
paid
is what
for
it is. But the birds have not been kind to me. The trees, those flyers, it's been a horrible late spring. But I'll tell you, going back to the childhood, we would play wiffle ball. Winner, between me and my buddy Ralph, he'd have a team, I'd have a team. The winner got the yoo-hoos. The loser had to buy the yoo-hoos.
Okay.
You know what a yoo-hoo is?
Yeah, we know what it is.
Okay, let's check it. I know yoo-hoos aren't that big in Detroit.
I remember the old school glass bottle,
yes.
yellow and
Yeah,
blue.
yellow.
Yogi Berra was the
Yellow and
spokesman
white.
when I was a kid.
They used to sell them with the yellow and white straws.
Well,
on
they
it.
still got
No,
McDonald's.
but
You
Ricky,
can
you
find
need the bottle. You
You can
don't
get
want
the
the,
bottle.
Yeah,
you don't want the
No,
sippy.
No, I'm saying they would
glass
literally
bottle.
buy it with the
Yes.
straw
Glass
separate,
bottle.
and you put the
And you
straw
gotta
in
shake
Yes,
it.
gotta
It's
shake.
literally chocolate water.
Chocolate
It's not
water.
chocolate
It's
milk.
not chocolate
It's
milk.
not
It's a
chocolate
chocolate
anything.
drink.
Correct.
It's chocolate water.
Nesquik replace you.
I still love you. I still love it.
It's not bad from time to time.
Gotta shake it up though.
Chocolate
Bosco's
flavored
great.
drink.
Speaking of summer
That's what it
vibes,
is.
Pete, man, one of your childhood summer deals is coming back around this weekend. 1982, the Grand Prix started. Talk about that then. Talk about excitement for it now. Do you watch it if you won't go to it?
Oh, I'll watch it. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely, guys. I mean, you guys, you had the we had Brady in here earlier, and he was our sales man, one of our sales managers here at Woodward Sports. Brady Wood, shout out, great guy. He was like, Belle Isle is a great track. I missed the race at Belle Isle. I'm like, no. You guys don't understand what it was like in the '80s. When that first Grand Prix was coming up, like I said, I was riding my big wheel around. I was pretending to be one of those race car drivers. I was making race cars out of Legos. That was a big thing, and racing through downtown Detroit and that old track, man. The only problem is the Formula One drivers, which it was back in the day, they didn't like the track because it was bumpy with all the potholes and all the manholes, and so they complained a lot. So it was really weird when you would be watching one of the angles where they were look down and you would see the cars coming at you. The cars are kind of going like that.
why
So you're like, yeah, it's not
That's
good.
why the average miles per
But it
hour
was-
used to be lower.
Yeah, it was.
Detroit,
But they
Grand
they
Prix
ran
from-
very
correct.
very fast back in those days. But yeah, it was a lot of fun on the build up.
I was down there today.
Big
Okay.
event.
It is wild down there, guys. And I'll tell you, if you're gonna go, try to map it out as best as you can.
Correct.
Because Jefferson is shut.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
man.
once you get to a certain part,
You're done.
Jefferson, it's all done. But once you get down there, man, it is loud. And I was a couple of blocks away from the track itself,
Yes.
and it is loud. And Bray, you said they're gonna do something special tonight.
Tonight
They
they're
got
doing
like
something
a
special.
cruise.
100%. So what I love about the Detroit events now, and I said this to Dave Beach now, I've said this to, excuse me,
Marty
Bud-
Dobeck.
Bud Hagan, Martin Dobeck, the whole 9 yards. I like that everything that they're doing in Detroit, they're implementing Detroit culture. So yeah, you have the Grand Prix and it's driving around the city of Detroit, but what else is big car-wise here in Detroit? It's the Motor City Dream Cruise. You do it every year, right down this very space that
Woodward
we're looking
Dream
at.
Cruise, baby.
Excuse me, the Woodward Dream Cruise. So now they're implementing that tonight, 6 o'clock. There's a mini Dream Cruise that you can register. You had to have already
Just on
registered.
Belle Isle?
That is
It's
cool.
about 250 cars, and it's actually the track that they're gonna
Very
use.
Right.
cool.
Oh,
Smart.
wow.
So it'll be a bunch of muscle cars, a bunch
that's
of old
dope.
school
That's
cars.
smart.
And everybody having a good time. It was free, of course. You didn't have to pay. But that's Detroit. That's something that we recognize from Detroit. So I'm just excited that they're taking the chances. Just like listening to Chef Geach, you know what I'm saying, after the Tigers win. Like, I'm literally, Tigers win, it's over.
Tigers
and
win
then
again.
it drops on the scoreboard. That wasn't happening back in the day. They weren't playing Blade Icewood on the
No.
scoreboard. They wasn't doing that. They doing that, and I appreciate it. Anson, we got some more super chats.
We do. I want to get through everybody's summers. Dante, legend in the chat, as a kid, even as an adult, he loves mini golf.
Hey, okay. And what, you got to have ice cream. Mini
Really?
golf and
This
ice
is
cream.
true.
Or mini golf and, adult beverages.
That's true.
Mike Reed, fireworks, cookouts, and hanging out with the family and
Ooh, how you miss
friends.
the fireworks?
As a kid,
I
it was football, basketball, and riding his bike as well. And then we got one more, Michael Weary. He can't stay away. Today it's hoverboards, skateboards, and basketball. Hoverboard.
I rock with a
I need one
skateboard.
of
I don't know about a hoverboard.
Are we talking like Marty McFly and Back to the Future? Or are we talking about the hoverboards from like 2016, 15,
I
16?
don't
I still
buy
have
in,
mine.
I don't buy into
crib.
any of the hoverboards yet. They have not recreated the Marty McFly hoverboard because when they do, I'm buying one.
Yeah, when they recreate that, it's gonna be some real problems.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
People's insurance better be paid up.
That's right.
I tell you that. No, but it's,
I was to ask Anson.
Please, go ahead.
Why don't you explain what you got rolling here today?
Hey, you know what?
Because we got extra prizes today.
We've
That's
got
right.
our
Dude.
best prize package ever. You
Also,
guys
we
know
might
we
have-
bring it correct for the Friday finale. This is the greatest prize package we've ever had. Of course,
Look at it.
starting over here from my right to left, your left to right, we got that Braylon Edwards rookie card. He's going to sign that for you. Vlad Guerrero, Zion Williamson, Brees Hall, Myles Garrett,
Zion Williamson's in a little hot water, by the way.
your boy Sammy Sosa. There's a whole bunch of cards in here. But our great friends, we'll keep it right here,
From the
Pete.
Michigan
I got you.
Panthers,
Our
baby.
great friends Tom and Molly from the Michigan Panthers, who will be hosting the Houston Roughnecks tomorrow at Ford Field at 3 p.m., came by and dropped off this Big Leg Bates bobblehead.
Yes,
It is
sir.
pretty awesome. That's going to one of you guys. But if you guys want to get to the game tomorrow, the first 2,000 fans through the door, you're going to get one of those for free. I've heard those games are awesome, too.
They're fun, man.
I've
I wish
been-
they'd pack it more. Maybe I'll do the Grand Prix and that tomorrow.
There you go.
This is how I know those games are fun. The one that I went to was not this past year, it was 2 years ago. It was the year they first came back. We went, had an absolute blast. They lost by like 12 to 15, but we didn't care. The vibes, the community, everybody, it was a really good time. Really, really, really
Yeah,
good
I
time.
mean, I remember growing up, my dad had the season tickets. Was it Bobby Hebert was our quarterback?
Oh, yeah.
Bobby
Back in the
Aber,
80s.
baby.
Yeah.
That was
and,
the
um,
USFL.
yes.
This is the UFL.
Well, it's the same teams and stuff.
My
so
dad's league.
I haven't been to anything new, but I would love to go. I just, hearing about them winning that championship when I was a kid, there's always been this mystique.
First
to those
championship at the
teams.
Silverdome. The only
The only.
championship. At
That's
the
right.
Silverdome.
I mean, the 49ers won one there, too.
I know.
Yeah.
Super Bowl 16, perhaps.
100%.
By the way, the Houston Roughnecks play the Michigan Panthers tomorrow. Without cheating, chat. Without cheating. Who was the Houston team in the original
Yes.
USFL, led by
Yes.
Jim Kelly?
Yeah.
What was the nickname of the original?
I know.
I
what
know
it
the
is.
Oklahoma Outlaws.
No, that was
No.
Doug. That was Doug Williams' team.
that was
by
the
the way.
No.
Was it the? Oh, I know it. I'm going to be quiet.
Throw it.
I'll be quiet too.
Yeah, you better.
The
be.
Riverboat.
You can't.
Who was the Riverboat Gamblers?
The Memphis, Showboats?
Memphis.
Memphis
Showboats.
Showboats.
That was Reggie.
That was
Reggie White.
Reggie
Yeah,
White.
the
White.
Minister of Defense. Okay.
I'm gonna see the first one
Is
to
this
say
Houston?
it. Houston had a team. Houston had a team
They were called
in the USFL. Don't say
I
anything,
know
Pete.
Pete knows.
Yeah, guys.
And guys,
just
don't
so
cheat.
the chat knows, Pete's dad was the commissioner of
got
the
a winner.
USFL. That
right.
is why he is not allowed to answer.
We
That's
got a
why I
winner
can't play.
already.
Technically, no one should be allowed to
I
answer.
know.
All you gotta do is ask Siri.
Well, Mazed Up said the Ramblers.
Yep.
Close.
Close.
Idris Singleton and Cody Ingle back to back. The Gamblers.
That's
right.
right.
I said
The
Gam-
Houston Gamblers.
I added a word. I said the Riverboat Gamblers.
You said the Riverboat
coulda-
Gamblers.
You could have gave me like a close. You didn't say nothing.
I thought you said who was the Riverboat Gamblers.
No, I said
Okay, I'm
Riverboat
sorry.
Gamblers. I
I'm
said
sorry.
wait.
See, that's why I
He
thought the
He
Showboats
was
for you.
answering in a Jeopardy format.
Yes.
Sorry, Bray,
you feel
Bray,
me?
you're the winner, man.
Bray's
No,
the
no,
winner.
You know what you
no,
win?
no, I-
A Jake Bates bobblehead, baby. You win a Jake Bates bobblehead.
Well, I'll take
Give it
that.
up, Rick.
I appreciate that.
Rick, give it back to him.
Well, look, we got Ryan and Ermanni joining us at 2:30, man.
Uh-oh.
So we might as well jump into a little bit of football since we're already talking about it. Finally, we got some news, some sound up out of Allen Park. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Excited to hear
It's great,
about
man.
Dan Campbell talking about
There you
who's
go.
there,
Thank you,
who's
Sheila.
not. Why not? Why not hear a little bit from Dan Campbell? Here's Dan Campbell talking about who's not there at OTAs because I know everybody's wondering.
So these guys are either out or will be limited. Adams, Martin, McNeil, Onzarike, Pascal, Reeder, Tyleek Williams, Wingo, Barnes, Campbell, Rodriguez, T.A., Branch, Dorsey, Holmes, Chris Spillman, Miles Frazier, Yaboa, St. Brown, Tesla, Demo, Vaki, Barry Sanders, and Calvin. So that's the list. And look, some of them are so minor, like the rookies, man, they've been training for, the combine, we're just trying to get some of these guys right physically. We're working with them. Fish is working with them, Mike Clark and that crew, and let's get their bodies right, everything aligned right, and then they'll be ready for training camp. And a number of guys, we're just trying to be smart. We're just trying to be smart. We got a little dings here and there, and so we're just trying to make sure everybody's good.
I appreciate this from Dan Campbell. That was the kind of conversation yesterday when we were talking about Mike Vrabel, Stephon Diggs. What was the conversation? What understanding did they have as it relates to him being there, him not being there? This is what you have when you have a team that has consistently over the last 4 years gotten better and better and better, and the identity hasn't changed. These guys are working hard all the time. And when you're in the playoffs 3 years in a row, Maz, like when you're playing 17 games in a year, you need extra time here or there.
Oh, yeah.
So I like that, he's not necessarily tripping. As long as you have a conversation with a coach, especially a good team, the good coach like Dan Campbell, you can figure things out. Not everybody's always going to be there. When I was in New York with Rex said, hey, just try to be here as much as you can, and when you're not here, just communicate with me. Easy breezy. And you never heard any smoke come out of Florham Park. Where are you with the guys that aren't there, kind of the message that Dan Campbell, Mass, the message that Dan Campbell and the guys not being there?
I have no issue with it, obviously. Let's face it, these guys, they know where everyone is. They know where everyone is. Now, I don't remember, did he say Anzalone? Was Anzalone in that? I don't remember. But anyway, I think they'll get something done with him, whether it's a 2-year thing or whatever. I think they'll take care of their business. They take care of their guys. They're all Dan Campbell guys. There's no smoke, like Braylon would say, coming out of Allen Park. It is all white smoke, all right? It's all good. It is all good. No, they didn't select the Pope or anything. That smoke is white, and it's all fine. They're going to be just fine. And don't forget, they had to get to camp earlier this year because they played the first game of the year at the end of July, the Hall of Fame game against the Chargers in Canton, Ohio.
Maz with a great time, Joe, considering we just named the Pope a month ago.
Yes, sir.
I like the timing on that one. Did you catch the end and Barry and Calvin and having some fun with that? Like, this isn't the Dan Campbell that we knew 4 years ago. This is Dan Campbell, in my estimation, kind of settling into, and I think allowing the fan base, allowing the city of Detroit to know, like, Dan Campbell's going to be okay. That's at least what I took from it.
Oh, big time. And, beyond the technical who's going to be there and who's not, nobody was talking about Kelvin Johnson from our front office, from our coaching staff for 10-plus years. Yeah.
Good
All
point.
of the alumni, everybody from national pundits to our very own Lions faithful here, our Lions pride, everybody's rallying around this team. The guys that had crossed this alumni association off their list because they didn't like the way that the Lions handled them, ownership has figured out a way to mend those bridges, and you are seeing Megatron back in the fold. Obviously, Barry's been around, but he's a big part of this team right now. And we're seeing that up and down. I mean, this is a team that's never had a Super Bowl, but you're getting people coming back and contributing and buying in like we've never seen around this team before. That's what I took away. I'm excited about the belief and buy-in from all generations.
Yeah, I think you aren't the only one excited. I think everyone's excited. Ricky, would you say you're excited as well?
I would have to say I've never been more excited in my life. Between Dan Campbell and the 8 News, I feel like those two things alone that we just heard over the last week or two is just, if you're a Lions fan, you have to be in the right frame of mind. Don't stop worrying about all the small things, the maybes. Not like we're 90-something days away from the season.
98, I believe. 98
and we
days.
kicking it off in at the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Come on now, bro, I can't wait.
I'm glad you brought that up. Dan Campbell also talked about the joint practices that they would have. They were a success when we had them a couple years ago. You look back at the Coach series, that's on Hard Knock. You saw what Coach at the time, Frank Wright, was talking about the team. You saw the other things. Now they have some joint practices against some really good teams, some good coaches. Here's Dan Campbell talking on the joint practices this year.
Joint practices figured out yet? We do. The plan is to go with Miami a couple of days. And then we'll go with Houston that last week for a day.
You heard him. He's got it with the Dolphins and the Texans. Texans is going to be a short one, and then the Lions have the following week off because they start early, so they finish early. So they'll get a week off before the regular season starts, and they have to open up. Who they against the Packers, right?
Against the Packers.
Open up against the Packers.
Maz, not to cut you off, there's one thing I'm excited about for that Miami Dolphins kind of like practice. You know what it is? The Dolphins, based on the season they had last year, the season they had the year before, the pieces that they've bought in, the where are we as a franchise situation, they're going to practice extremely hard in that opportunity against a team that a lot of people have winning a Super Bowl.
Yep.
So you're going to get your best out of Miami, and they got some good players. So I'm excited for that to kind of help the Lions before the season starts.
And the Lions will play. They host the Dolphins. They host Houston. So those games will be at home, and of course those practices will be at Allen Park. So once those tickets get ready to go up, guys. You better grab them. Lions season ticket holders, grab them real quick. But then there's some allotted to the general public, but you got to get in really quick to go visit those practices.
Speaking of
And
Lions,
it's fun.
Speaking of Lions season ticket holders, we have one on the phone ready to talk to you. We'll get a quick commercial break in from Buddies, and then we'll get to you know who.
A legend on the phone and a legend in a dish. It's that deep dish Detroit style courtesy of Buddy's Pizza. They've been doing it for 79 years, 22 locations throughout Detroit, including the original one at 6 Mile and Connet. Get your rewards started today. Download the Buddy's app. Every purchase is going to earn you points. And right now, tonight, when you order some pizza, you can save 10%. Just put in that 10 MEAL code and you will save 10% off of your very first order. Get some of that legendary deep dish Detroit style pizza from Buddy's this weekend at buddyspizza.com.
Are you a real Detroit sports fan? Woodward Sports is here to give you all the Detroit sports you can handle. Weekdays, make sure you're locked in on Wake Up Woodward from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Followed by Big D Energy with Neil Rule and Darren McCarty from 11 a.m. to 1. Up next, you can't miss Ermanni Edwards with Maz from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And finish the day out with the bad boys of Detroit sports media, the Woodward Heavyweights from 5 to 7 p.m. Okay, wait, that isn't enough for you, you sports freak? Check out Woodward Wings, Woodward Ringside, and the Lions Weekly Update every Sunday with Broder, Terry Foster, and Sean Beligian. Subscribe on YouTube for all our great content, and make sure you're following on all social media, X, IG, Facebook, and TikTok. You want sports? We got you covered. Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone! Boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
Hey guys, looking to upgrade your relaxation game? Look no further than the Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. Right up the street from Woodward Sports. You know where it's at. It's on Long Lake Road in Woodward. It's the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest. Check it out. Experience luxury comfort with Dr. Eric Duncan. He is the Wellness Doc, creator of the top YouTube massage chair review channel. Book a visit right now. MassageChairHouse.com. MassageChairHouse.com. Click on that QR code. It'll get you there that much faster so you can relax and enjoy it. Your ticket to ultimate relaxation and recovery.
Maz is a pro.
All right, check this out, man. Without further ado, I did tease it, but his name is on the show. We welcome in Ryan Ermanni. What's up, brother?
Who's this?
What's up, brother?
Ermanni fans.
You know what? I'm so about 5 minutes before we got on here. I just got back from the track, guys. It was awesome downtown. I was down at the Detroit Grand Prix all morning and into the afternoon. And let me tell you, if you are not a race fan but want to go to an event, go check out the Detroit Grand Prix. And I'll tell you this much. If you go and you're not a fan after, we got some talking to do because it's impossible to go to that event and not be a fan of that sport.
I believe it, Ryan. I was down there earlier today, picked up my tickets and all of that kind of jazz. I was a block away. I was right around where Steve's Soul Food is, right off of Jefferson there. But it's hard to get down there. That's the only thing that I worry about as a regular guy just wanting to go down there, find parking and all of that because, you know, Jefferson is part of the track and that's a big time. That's part of the racetrack. But it is loud, man. So loud, but exciting. I'm ready for it.
No doubt. And I would encourage everybody to go to DetroitGP.com. I mean, they have maps and directions on everywhere to park if you're struggling to get downtown. I mean, obviously, as a member of the media and doing 6 hours of programming down there today or whatever it was, you know, we get a pass and carted to the area, so it's a lot easier for us, there's no doubt. But I encourage everybody to check out DetroitGP.com, and they've got a full list of where to park, where to go, tickets to buy, where you could see the race free, because half of this racetrack is accessible to be viewed free. You can't even go to a high school baseball game free of charge anymore. No. So to be able to see the Detroit Grand Prix and have it be free, half the track is free. That's pretty incredible.
Awesome.
Ryan, well, I don't want to waste your precious time, man. We want to dive into some
Oh, man, I'm with you. All I got to do is pick up Lukey in about 30 minutes.
Oh,
I'm
Lukey.
good.
I'm excited to see both you guys tomorrow. But before we dive into the Lions, Dan Campbell had some sound talking about who's there, who's not there. And then also he talked about who they play. Want to get into that. But I want to take you back to your childhood, man. What was the most fun memories that you had as a youngster in the summertime?
Going to Tiger Stadium, sitting in the bleachers, and watching everybody get drunk around me.
No, but I mean, as an adult now, looking back, like, oh, I get it. I see why they were
right.
doing that.
I mean, you know, we were sports kids. You know, for us to be able to go to Tigers games as a kid, and we always used to sit in the bleachers. That stuff I'll never forget. I mean, you know, not sports related, but in the summertime, you always go to the corner and, you know, we had a great neighborhood full of kids. I mean, you had Scotty and Mark, you had Bobby and Derek. I mean, you had everybody. I mean, you go down to the corner, you play wiffle ball and stuff like that. You never forget. Kids today, and I say that, kids today, and these screens are so ingrained in our kids' childhoods, and I feel like they miss out on so much.
Again, I gotta defend these kids. The kids in my neighborhood are outside, and I'm proud of it.
I love it. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah,
I'm glad you said that, Ricky, because you know I go on walks and I do see kids at like open fields and playing. What's this game that they're playing where they hit the ball on the spike ball? I don't know if you know anything about that. You know, spike ball.
Yeah, I think it's the parents. I think they have parents like us that's making them go outside.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, 100% now. But I thought that would be fun with the weather being nice outside, with the Grand Prix bring around the corner in a couple of days. That's how we started. No doubt. But this is how we'll finish it. Dan Campbell came to the podium. You know, OTAs, it's always a lot made of who's there, who's not there. It always rubs me the wrong way as a former player, but you hear Dan Campbell talking, and he's not making anything about the guys that aren't there because of young guys. They had to get ready for the draft. Then we brought them here. They've been working. Older guys, I understand. And then even at the end of it, he mentions Calvin and Barry and Chris Spillman in the middle, just to have fun. Talk about his energy at this press conference and talk about where you believe Dan Campbell is at.
Look, this is exactly what we expect and what we've come to love about Dan Campbell. He is not worried about anybody that's not here. He is only worried about the people that are there. And you talk about the Detroit Lions now, and you look at the history, and maybe you see the Barry Sanders and the Calvin Johnsons and the Chris Spielmans of the world even a little bit differently with the team's recent success. I mean, it's I almost look fondly upon Lions history now, and those, obviously the Lions greats, but you almost look fondly upon that because of just how good this team and this organization has been over the last 3.5 years. I think this guy's as dialed in as we have. Well, we hope he's dialed in as much as he's ever been. This is another year where you expect to win the Super Bowl.
Speaking of
how many times?
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, how many games will the Lions line up this year where you're like, nah, gonna lose that one? I mean, honestly, there's not one game on the schedule that I will go into saying they're gonna lose that game. Now they'll probably lose 5 or 6 games, maybe even in 4 or 5. But the Lions will have a chance to win every game they play, including the one at the end. They will have a chance to compete for a Super Bowl. All things being equal, if they're healthy, I would put their chances up with anybody. If I told you right now, gentlemen, and maybe we can go around the room, you get one team, you can pick one team, life on the line, that's the team that's going to win the Super Bowl. Whose roster would you trade with the Lions?
Wow.
Whose roster would you trade with them?
Just Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
I think Kansas City's going to miss. I get that. I think Kansas City is going to miss the playoffs this year. Wow. It's a bold. It's one of my bold takes. It's one of my bold takes this year. I just think even Tom Brady and the Patriots in that 20-year run had some down years. I mean, it's got to happen at some point, doesn't he?
Yeah. I know. I'm with you, man.
I mean, they went 10 years in between Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Patriots.
You're absolutely correct. If you're talking roster for roster, man, I mean, if you want to say Baltimore, then fine, but we know Baltimore is in the playoffs. The only roster that I can think about is the team that won the Super Bowl. Because you look at the same thing that we talk about, the Detroit Lions, their identity is still very much intact on the offensive side of the ball. And even on defense, they got a bunch of young players that we saw take steps last year. But you're right. I wouldn't – any other team outside of that, I wouldn't put over them. I would take the Lions roster, and then I would take probably Eagles.
And even Philadelphia, though, I expect Washington to win that division. I think they're going to have a heck of a time in the NFC East. I almost called it the AL Central.
But that's what you got to love about it, because Philadelphia is saying the same thing about the Lions. Hell, they're going to have a hard time with the Vikings. They're going to have a hard time with Packers. They're going to have a hard time.
Yeah, we have no idea.
Exactly. Maz, you had something?
I know. I'm with you, Rye, but I probably would be with you. I would not trade this roster. I would not trade this roster and this head coach. This head coach, I'm ride and die with this guy. Now, he's got 2 new coordinators and a bunch of new guys here that we don't know, really. Sure, we know Kelvin Shepard has been here. He's been, helping out on defense, helping with the linebackers. But now he's got the whole enchilada. And I know the new play caller, John Morton. It's not Ben Johnson anymore. But the guy that actually says, okay, we'll run that play, is Dan Campbell. So I'm all in on the Lions. Now, our good friend Rob Parker, as we know, likes to stir the pot. And he said the Lions window is past. And, he likes to laugh. Get robbed, come on, the whole 9 yards. He thinks the Lions window is past. I don't think he's serious. Do you really believe the Lions window is past?
I don't believe it is, but I guarantee you Rob Parker believes what he says. You might not like what he says, but I'll give Rob Parker this. Every time he comes up with a crazy statement, he has a reason or two or three for why he has that. Now, I disagree with it,
Yeah.
but I believe that Rob Parker believes what he says. And I think a lot of Lions fans, there's probably a good portion of them that felt that the best chance for this team to get to the Super Bowl was in San Francisco a couple of years ago.
Of course.
And then Dan Campbell said what he said. It's really hard to get back to this point. The next year, home field advantage throughout. They don't even win a playoff game and get bounced in their first game. And so you're sitting there, you blew an opportunity, and you can't – they didn't lose that game. They flat out blew it. They choked.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just reality. And then they did win a playoff game the year after that. And then – so you come back. I expect them to be right back in the mix here in year 3 of this run. I'll call this year 3 since the San Francisco game. And if they don't do it this year, then you're going to hear a lot of whispers.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think this is the year, right?
I agree.
mean, if you don't do it this year, you start to become kind of like Kyle Shanahan, right? Can you win the big one? That's the question with Kyle Shanahan. Can you win the big one? He's had, 6 opportunities and has never won the Super Bowl with probably one of, if not the most complete roster in all of football for a long time. So you're kind of go in that category then. Look at Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur, same way. What's the difference between Matt LaFleur and Dan Campbell right now?
Oh, the difference is between Matt LaFleur and Kyle Shanahan is, regardless of excuses, they didn't have 22 players that were injured on the defensive side of the ball. You show me one of those 49ers teams that was missing Nick Bosa, that was missing Fred Warner, that was missing Greenlaw. Well, they were missing Greenlaw last year, and it kind of hurt them. So
I mean, that's fine, but I'm just saying if they don't win the Super Bowl this year,
when
then
it's over.
Yeah.
Then you have a fair thought to be over. Rob Parker's Rob Parker. You know, he loves to blow a little smoke, get people talking about him, and also there's a level of research behind it. But this one, I think he's just out of tune because he's no longer here. This is Rob Parker from L.A. This isn't Rob Parker that's on the streets of Detroit, that's got the beat of Detroit day to day. And even though you can read articles, I don't think he's tapping in like this. I think this is some lazy journalism.
He's been rage baiting since before rage baiting was even a term.
100%. Ryan, here we go. Johnny Morton. This is something that I've come around on with Johnny Morton. We put so much emphasis on, is Johnny Morton going to be Ben Johnson, who, by the way, is the one that started David Montgomery and not Jahmyr Gibbs. Glad he's gone in that regard. But we get so much, Ben's not here. Is Johnny going to have the same pulse? Are we forgetting the fact that Ben Johnson and Jared Goff built this offense? Jared Goff is the one that's been quarterbacking this offense, last time I checked, 4 years in a row, soon to be 5. He helped put this in place. The team is still in place. His wide receivers are still the same. His offensive line is still the same. His running backfield is the best in the league. It's still the same. Are we not giving Jared Goff enough credit for what he has been and what he potentially could be this year?
Probably not. You're probably right about that, Braylon. Jared Goff seems to be, I hesitate to call it an afterthought. That's not the right word. But Jared Goff, if you look at the numbers that he's put up over the last 2 years, let's just take last year for instance. I mean, he was up there with some of the all-time greats in the history of the game. And you really don't hear a lot about Jared Goff. You heard about Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sonic and Knuckles and the great offensive line. You really didn't hear a ton of Jared Goff, even 2 years ago when he went all of those passing attempts without throwing an interception. Now, last year he threw his fair share, but remember he went, what was it, like a full calendar year without throwing an interception or something along those lines. Really didn't hear much about how good Jared Goff is, but you did hear about Ben Johnson and how dynamic an offense he was. For Ben Johnson to be who he turned out to be, and that's, offensive coordinator of the year, he needed a quarterback that can run that offense. He needed a quarterback that could be precise with all throws, that could read defenses, that can audible, that can walk up to the line and have that kind of command of what all 10 other players on the field had to do. And I don't think Jared Goff gets enough credit. He does get a lot of the blame, and rightfully so sometimes. You got to hang on to the football. Always go back to when he was concussed against Washington. But, yeah, I mean, look, he's worked with John Morton before as well. So these two know each other. I don't think it's going to take too long for those two to get on the same page.
Also, too, Ryan, remember what Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes said at the end of the season? They said Jared Goff will be in the room when we pick who's coming next. So Jared Goff had a hand in picking Johnny Morton. Anson.
Ryan, I want to shift gears a little bit. Staying on the Lions, Anzalone, an extension, signing him beyond this year, that's the big topic conversation currently with this team. I've got a graphic here, and I want to show Lions fans what we're facing next offseason and the offseason after that. 2026, all the ages that you guys are seeing next to these players, that is how old they will be when their contract is up. DJ Reader's gone. Khalif Raymond will be gone. Dan Skipper will be gone, and we already replaced Tim Patrick's replacement in Tesla.
Gotta tell her to shut up, Ryan.
I'm gonna tell you, Alex.
You know I want to.
Shut up, Lexi.
It's okay, Ryan.
Lexi.
You can tell her.
I think
There
what
you go.
Lions fans need to understand is that we are entering a new era of Dan and Brad, and that is the true free agency era. We've been watching them sign guys to short contracts and get guys out of here while they've drafted and developed their own players. I've talked about this. Out of the 93 roster that it sits currently in the offseason, only 7 of those guys, 8 if you include Connor, are above the age of 30. Now we look at 2027, that second half of guys there. Craig Reynolds will be gone. I think Levi will be gone. Who knows what Ray Lopez means to this team? Honestly, all of those guys that you see there, or excuse me, that's just next season.
Yeah, hang on.
So the next graphic is going into 2027. These are completely different names. These are bedrock foundation players. Graham Glasgow, 30 years old, gone.
Yeah.
Hendon Hooker will be gone. Jack Fox probably will
I
get
saw
re-signed.
Jack Fox the other day. He
But
says
those
he loves the
bottom
show.
4 guys right there, Jamo, Laporta, Hutchinson, and Branch. I'm going to tell you right now, guys, this team's probably not extending Anzalone. And when you look at those names that they have to re-sign after 2026 or 7, Hutchinson might get traded if he doesn't stay healthy this year. And I think that Lions fans are going to have a very hard time over these next couple of off seasons, next year and the year after, because in Detroit, we never had a winner, and we've watched these guys take this team from the bottom to the top, and we know Detroit fans hate saying goodbye to guys that contributed. But in order for us to be this team that dominates for the rest of this decade, I think that Dan and Brad want to stay young, and they're going to be cutthroat, and I think that first throat that will be cut, unfortunately, will be Alex Anzalone after this year. Where are you at on that, Ryan?
Well, you almost made me choke on this cord when you said Aiden Hutchinson might be traded. But I don't think in any way, shape, or form Aiden will be traded. But
how many
to
lower body
point,
injuries, Ryan?
To your point, he was injured at Michigan twice. He was injured in the NFL. I do understand the point. I just think there are also those guys that you are just untouchable like that no matter what. I think he's one of those untouchables. Now on to the Anzalone. This is the first player that Lions fans are going to have to come to grips with. This is really the first player that the Lions organization has had to come to grips with. When you have all of this success and you have all of this homegrown talent, you do get into a position that just don't fit into the salary cap any longer. Are you with me?
Yes,
There you
we're
go.
hearing you.
Okay. I froze up for a second. Sorry. So,
You're good.
you know, we talk about this a lot. Now, I know NBA is different from NFL, but one of the things that we talked about a lot with the Pistons was you just can't let the growth of the organization be stymied by the fact that your organization and your fan base love certain players.
Amen.
Alex Anzalone is a guy that the Lions organization loves and the Lions fans love. But at the end of the day, we are all, from NFL players to office workers to anybody working at any job where you're paid by somebody else. We are all just numbers around our head. How much money do we make? And can that salary fit in your budget as a company? And can Alex Anzalone's salary fit in the company of the Detroit Lions? I hope so. I don't know if it does or not, because look, what do the Lions get credit for more than anything over the last 2 years? How well they take care of their players.
Yes, sir.
Their players do not have to be begged to get paid. Go look at Cincinnati. Go look at some of these other teams where their players, go out there. They go to the media. They negotiate. Look what's going on with Trey Hendrickson with the Bengals right now, just fighting to get paid. And this is a great player. This is an all-pro type player. This is not a Pro Bowler. He's an all-pro type player. He's got more sacks than any player in the National Football League if you combine the last 2 years by 5.
Yeah.
So, a guy like him's not getting paid. And I'm not saying that Anzalone can't get paid, but I'm just saying, like, we are all just a number. And if you believe you are worth something, you have to go seek it out. And if Alex Anzalone believes he is worth more than the Detroit Lions can pay him, he's got to go, and he owes it to himself to figure that out. I'm sure he would love to stay here. But when you see the guy next to you, what they're making, you want to make that.
Yeah.
That's just human nature. And I don't blame him at all. I love Alex Anzalone, and I think Lions fans do, but he may be the first casualty if it doesn't work out. I hope to God that doesn't happen, but who are you willing to lose on this team? Because you can't keep everybody together forever. Who are you willing to lose?
Feel like that was a bit of a metaphor. I love you. We'll talk about that one later. Before you get out of here, because I know you got to go, Maz wants to get into it about these New York Knicks who found a way to win yesterday. Jalen Brunson with an amazing game. Maz, Ryan, get into the Knicks and Pacers, and with the East series could potentially.
I told you.
I told you.
You did.
Hey, Ryan,
You
man.
did. I knew they would win last night.
I see a pulse still. I feel a pulse still. And I know the next game is going to be a tough one, man. But what'd you think of last night's game?
I loved every minute of it, and it almost makes me sick to my stomach to cheer for the Knicks openly. But I feel like it is just such a good team. Those guys are great, man. I go back to the Pistons series. The way they gave Detroit, the city, the Pistons organization, the fans, all that love, it's so hard for me not to root for them. And I don't think they're dead yet. Indiana has never won an NBA championship. What have they made it to? One NBA Finals?
Right.
Yes.
One Finals and one ABA championship.
Yeah, and so they got some history, too, that they're fighting. They got some demons that they're fighting. And look, Tyrese Halliburton and Miles Turner are not Shaq and Kobe. Okay, this is not MJ and Pippen. Not say they're not great players, but it's not like some insurmountable roster that you can't overcome. So they got one game at a time. I'd love to see it. This is only, I think, the second series in the entire NBA playoffs, and the Pistons were the other one, that have gone more than 5 games.
Yeah.
It's been a terrible playoff.
Yeah, it's a bloodbath.
So I am rooting, if nothing else, for a 7th game.
Ryan, can either team beat OKC?
No. It's a
Amen.
quick no.
Yep.
OKC won, 4 playoff games by 30 or more
Yeah.
points.
They're
It's
outstanding.
never been done in the history of the playoffs.
They're outstanding.
Just
Wild.
and I really do like what Charles Barkley said. He was spot on a couple days ago when he said, ESPN, I love y'all, but don't be trying to make Anthony Edwards the face of the NBA. It's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yes.
SGA is the face of the NBA.
Amen.
It's not something you just kind of anoint. It's something you take. And SGA has taken that mantle. He is the best player in the league, and I think this is going to be an unbelievable offseason as teams try to jockey and figure out how to compete with the OKC. And OKC, they got all those draft picks still.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, they can do whatever they want this offseason. Can you imagine? They can get Giannis. They can go back and get KD. They can do a lot of different things.
Yeah, no, they can do a lot with those 8 picks. Ryan, we'll let you get out of here. Last thing we'll ask you, journalism or sovereignty?
That's next week.
Well, I'm excited.
All right.
You got me in the horse race.
I know.
Hey, I'm trying to get into this horse race.
I love you, man.
Journalism or sovereignty? This is probably what we'll see anyway. Who you
I
got?
just lost you guys. I just lost you. Repeat that for me.
No, what we said was you had a hell of a take, man. We appreciate having you on the show.
Thanks, buddy.
I love the glasses, Bray.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I was a week ahead of the question. I asked you journalism or sovereignty, but as Maz told me, it's 9 days from now or 8 days from now. So,
and they got to figure that out too, man. How did the winner of the Derby run in the Preakness?
I know.
Come on.
I know.
That's that.
You want to kill your own sport?
Don't get me going.
Kill your own
Hey,
sport.
Maz, he's a simp.
Don't get me going.
The owner is a simp. We out here simping.
It's
got
low
it, man.
management. Don't get me started.
Brian,
either.
enjoy your weekend, buddy. I will see
All right,
you
I
tomorrow.
gotta go
I'ma
pick
pull
up the
on
kid. I
Lucy.
love you guys.
I see you.
All
Love
right.
you too,
I'll
brother.
see you
Take care,
guys.
buddy.
We miss you.
Have a good weekend.
Always a pleasure when you deal with the legendary Brian Ermanni. Look, we're going to get a quick commercial break. And he set us up. He segued into basketball, so let Anson talk about his OKC Thunder. And we got much more show, man. So let's get a quick commercial break and tell you about Dr. Pierce.
Yes, sir. Dr. Jeff Pierce, Michigan Sports and Spine. Check him out, guys. He's in Livonia. For more information, you want to go to MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. I've been telling you my journey at Michigan Sports and Spine. They are terrific at getting you back in health. And now I got the elbow issue, so it could be elbows, it could be back, neck. I've seen people in there just getting better and better. The ladies there, the therapists are outstanding. Faith and Kara, thank you. MichiganSportsAndSpine.com. Tell them that Maz and the gang at Woodward sent you.
And then after that, make sure you go shop.woodwardsports.com. Get your Detroit sports merch right now. Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons on the offseason. This is a good time to stack up on the Pistons. Get your Lions merch before the season starts. We're 90-something days away. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Where you need to go to get your hoodies, tees, hats. No matter what you get, it's all guaranteed to turn heads because no one's going to have a design like you have on. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Go get your merch now. We'll be right back.
Are you a real Detroit sports fan? Woodward Sports is here to give you all the Detroit sports you can handle. Weekdays, make sure you're locked in on Wake Up Woodward from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Followed by Big D Energy with Neil Rule and Darren McCarty from 11 a.m. to 1. Up next, you can't miss Ermanni Edwards with Maz from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And finish the day out with the bad boys of Detroit sports media, the Woodward Heavyweights from 5 to 7 p.m. Okay, wait, that isn't enough for you, you sports freak. Check out Woodward Wings, Woodward Ringside, and the Lions Weekly Update every Sunday with Broder, Terry Foster, and Sean Belegian. Subscribe on YouTube for all our great content, and make sure you're following on all social media, X, IG, Facebook, and TikTok. You want sports? We got you covered. Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone. The boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
Oh, man, one thing about summertime, you know, it brings you baseball. And when your baseball team is number one in the MLB, it brings you that much closer to the ballpark. But you don't have to go to the ballpark because you can join us at the White Claw Tigers Tour. June 13th, we'll be at Nemo's. June 19th, Second Best. And then June 29th, the old Miami, all around Comerica Park, downtown, the old school Michigan and Trumbull vibes. Woodward Sports will be in the building. Pull up on us, have fun, watch the game. We can talk some stuff. You know Torque's going to go yard. You know Torque's going to go yard. And you know Schools, if he's on the mound, oh my God, but it doesn't matter. They got other players too. Justin Henry Malloy, Wiley Green. It doesn't matter. They got the squad. Come join us. Appreciate you. Ben Johnson Law and Easttown Distributors, they have put on this show for you. It's going to be a part of it.
Dudes, we like simple stuff like going to a free Grand Prix on Belle Isle. We like uncomplicated, and Lady Jane's is exactly that. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men. You can walk in, sign in, and before you know it, you are looking great. Your hair is done. Lady Jane's, again, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. Oh, and it's wicked awesome.
You know what, dude is one of those like words that I give like the white boys a lot of credit for. That's a cool ass word.
It's kind of dying.
Like,
it's disappearing a little.
True. That's because it's getting far removed for it. But I remember using dude as like dude is it's a cool word, man.
It's
one of my TV shows, Nickelodeon, was the Dude Ranch. Like, hey dude.
Hey,
And speaking of the dudes and dudettes, we have some. We have a little bit of super chats here, including middle-aged sneaker chick. We missed you.
Shout out to
Michigan Panthers games are fire.
They are.
People are really sleeping on the UFL games for the price. They should be sold out every game. She's a season ticket holder. Well, if you missed it earlier, Miss Middle-Aged Sneaker Chick, the Michigan Panthers stopped by and dropped off this Big Leg Bates bobblehead, which we are giving away today. 4 super chats. You get on that wheel. And honestly, our best lineup of cards that we have offered. We bring it on the Friday finale. And the most legendary man out of Ann Arbor in this century, he will be signing his rookie card.
Man.
Glasses not included.
That's high praise. I appreciate you.
You are, though, man. Who is that guy? Swanky Wolverine or something?
Swanky Wolverine.
I just lit him up last night, and I was like, I think that's him.
Oh, Lord, Anson. No, definitely appreciate
I had to
that.
take a break from the New York Serfs. They upgraded a little bit.
Okay, no more peasants. They're serfs.
Well, there'll be peasants after Game 6, but they were Serfs last night.
Do you believe that? You believe they lose Game 6?
Oh, I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. My biggest worry right now is OKC having to wait till Thursday of next week to play when they are clicking on all cylinders right now.
That happens.
New York's a better team on the road right now than they have been at home. I mean, these guys are 4-6 at home right now somehow, and they're in the Eastern Conference Finals, but they're 6-2 on the road. There's no reason they can't win this game at the former Market Square Arena, whatever the hell it is now.
That's right.
Well, last night you saw the score as Pete put up there, so I appreciate you on that. 111-94, they led the whole game. They got up to as much as 23, I do believe, but they led this game the majority of the way. You knew they had to have the game. You can't lose Game 5 at the crib when you got all these guys, Ben Stiller, blah, 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 Timothy Chalamet sitting in the middle of Kendall and Kylie. Like, you can't lose. And they didn't. They put on the Showtime.
That kid's living good, isn't he?
He's definitely living good, but the Knicks are living good because OG Anunoby didn't necessarily play his best game. Mikal Bridges didn't necessarily play his best game, but they were able to physically stop the Indianapolis Pacers, and they got the W.
Do you think the Pacers kind of almost took off last night?
Yeah. This is what I think happens in basketball.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. I believe when you get spaces like that where you got a commanding lead or you feel comfortable, it's much like we talked about with the Knicks here. They're going to try that first quarter for sure, maybe even half of the second quarter. But once they kind of feel like, it's not going to be the night, play a little easier, don't play as many people, pull the guys earlier. I think that happened where the Indianapolis Pacers saw,
Not tonight.
we ain't going to beat these guys tonight, so why go balls to the wall, excuse my French, then lose.
Basketball.
That's a great
And
song.
now you put yourself in a situation where, no, we actually tried and we lost, and now the game momentum. So, yeah, I think there was a little bit of that.
Yeah, I do too. And as a Knicks fan, I kind of saw that. Matter of fact, I went in and out of that game. That's how much confidence I had that the Knicks would finish that game. And they did. They lived for another day, and that's good because we would have been basketball-less until next Thursday. Like Anson said, that's when game one at Oklahoma City takes. Now, you think OKC might be flat? I doubt it. Maybe they'll be flat for the first quarter. But this is a team that has just dismantled every team that's been put in front of them. And you heard Ryan, we said it yesterday, 4 30-point wins, 4 30-point halftime leads as well. It's never been done in the NBA in the playoffs. And they are so close to being a perfect team. So tomorrow night, Knicks got to really put it on the line at Indy if they want to force a Game 7, which would be great. Wouldn't it be great, a Monday night Game 7 at Madison Square Garden for us to watch, for us something to look forward to?
I'm not going to lie. It definitely would. It definitely would be exciting, definitely be entertaining for what you do not like about the New York Knicks. It's Madison Square Garden. It's a night game. It's New York. It just pops. I want to ask you a question before you answer. I know you're about to get on the roll about the Knicks. But he mentioned OKC. He mentioned the break and the waiting time. If the Pacers win this game, every team has played flat when they've had a break, including OKC in this playoff. If the Pacers win and they get a win in game one, this could be a much different series because of the ability of the Pacers to play at that speed, that pace, pun intended.
Yeah, and they're super duper deep. And let's not forget that on Sunday at 9:49 p.m. during Game 3, Maz sent a text to you and I that said, I told you guys it would be a sweep.
I did. But it was the reverse jinx.
Yeah, those New York.
No, I believe
New York fan base, baby.
Oh, come on, man.
Listen, I would much rather
What are
see.
you throwing a New York fan base for? That's any basketball fan.
I would much rather see Christian Dorsey and Daryl Double D sitting in the front row than Timothy or whatever is nothing won't be relevant in 5 years from now. I can't stand that front row. Kendall Jenner and all these people that don't even know what an over and back violation is, because otherwise they'd know the Pistons should be there. But I cannot stand them. Played a good game last night.
Before you go, just about the fans. You know how they do.
Why is he so hateful?
It is what it is. He's a
Is
Detroit.
it jealousy?
It's
No,
NBA
man,
hate, baby.
he's a
I got it for 29 teams.
Man, he's a Detroit fan. This is the Detroit fan base.
I
There's
get it.
nothing wrong with that.
All right.
This is just Detroit. You're like Detroit and New York. This is just Detroit.
Okay.
Do you know how they do the tickets? They're on the court side and all that. People don't necessarily
Is it a
buy these
lottery?
tickets. It is somewhat like a lottery. New York, Madison Square Garden, there's a collective. They choose who's going to be in seats. They choose. There's like a tier one. That's where you see Ben Stiller and Chalamet and the
And
Jenners.
Gary V.
Michael
Shout out Gary
And
V.
Gary V. As you see that. Then there's like the people that want to buy their tickets. That's Spike Lee. The people next to him, they didn't want it. They're bought in. Then there's like the tier two under the basket, which are all the Knicks alums that they make sure they take care of, which I appreciate that. And, then
And the
there's like tier
Yankees
three.
and the Mets.
So, but the Knicks reach out to the people and say, "Hey, you've been selected," and then they pay.
Wow.
That's kind of how that
I had
works.
no idea.
100%. You can't just go in there and buy them.
Sounds like a good old boys club to me.
It does, but it gets the result it wants.
Sure.
It gets the result.
So as a Midwest
Sure,
guy,
52 years without a championship.
Hey, Anson.
Results, baby. Love those New York peasant results. Shout out to the New York Surfs with their win last night.
So as a 52, now you got me going. So as a Midwest lover that you are, you're a Midwest lover, and you're rooting for Indiana.
No, I am rooting for the team to beat.
So
the
you're rooting
Knicks.
for Indiana?
I hate the Indiana never haves.
You're
all right?
rooting for them.
No, I am.
No, you were rooting for them.
Sure. Matt has your
Surely
corner.
you are correct.
Okay, so you're anti-Midwest then, because no Michigan person,
Anti-New York.
no Michigan
East
person,
of the Mississippi.
no Michigan person would root for anyone from Indiana.
Wait a second. You're the same guy that says, I want another Big Ten team to win the championship because we're in the same division.
Yeah.
That
What's
is
the
fair as
difference?
well. He has you on that one, man. I've always
We got
thought
you.
that.
But I root for history. I'm a history.
Years of
Nice flop. Well played.
I'm a
Well
history
played.
guy.
Well played.
That's why.
Well played.
Listen,
Change the complete topic all together.
Ricky. That's why I root. That's why I appreciate Green
got
Bay,
I got you.
the Bears, the
got
Vikings. I appreciate the
Got you.
NFL, the history of the NFL, the history of the
Got
NBA. The Knicks are a historic franchise. Yes, they've only won 2 freaking championships in my lifetime. They might have won one way back when. They don't have a lot of championships, man. I cannot believe that you would root for the Pacers.
There are only 4 teams that I am comfortable seeing win a championship in the NBA. Obviously, the Pistons, the Celtics, and Lakers.
Why the Celtics?
Because they've done it 18 damn times,
So,
Maz.
if anything, you would want to not root for
I
them.
get that, but no, I'm of
God,
the
you're a
belief.
whack
I
job.
hated
I
seeing the
agree.
Heat win.
I agree, man.
I hated seeing the Heat win.
God, are you a
I
whack
hated
job.
seeing the Mavericks win. I hate seeing the for the majority of my NBA life, I watched about 5 teams win it for 30 years.
Can I ask you one question?
Please.
Why despise the Knicks, who, in my opinion, have never hindered Detroit, with the exception of this year? With the exception of
1992 when they swept us?
this year. Yeah, but we'd already lost Isaiah. His wrist was fractured. We weren't going to be the same team.
I don't want to see anybody that hasn't won a championship in 50 years win another.
Gotcha.
At all.
Okay.
I don't want to see a team win the
So you don't want the Lions
So you don't
to
want
win.
the Tigers to win.
So you don't want the
pretty much.
Lions
No.
to win.
Listen, I am a
Well,
Detroit sports.
You talk out of your. Woo,
No, I'm not.
Tigers
Woo,
win.
I bust your ass over this one, and you're trying to play games. You know I owned you on this one. You
don't
want to
own
vote
crap.
for everybody
don't
and
know.
cheer
You
for
got
everybody
you
out of the
on
Big Ten. But if it's the NBA, you can't root for
Fair.
a state right below us. My thing is this. I am okay with legacy
They
teams
border us,
winning
by
it.
the way.
I am okay with legacy teams winning it. The Knicks haven't won it in my lifetime. I don't want to see them win one. I don't want the Pacers to win one. The Cleveland Cavaliers winning that one makes me absolutely puke, wine, and champagne. All right? I want the Pacers to end the Knicks and send their peasant fan base packing. Shut their mouths. Because I know my OKC Thunder, my J-Dub Thunder, excuse me, are going to handle anybody that comes their way. But listening to the Knicks tell me how they got to the finals finally for the first time in 25 years, I'm not hearing it. Period.
Man, as you brought it up, but we didn't dive into it. Like the NBA, everything is a cash grab. Everything is about the money.
Yeah.
For me, to wait a week, and this isn't new, so this is not what we're talking about this season. To wait a week to play the finals out, man.
They set it up with the TV networks.
But you lose
They tell
rhythm
AB
if you're a team.
you're right. They tell ABC, look, here's the date. It doesn't matter if they're all 4-game sweeps. And you heard Ryan, most of these have been 5-game wins.
Yeah.
This is the only series that's gone 6. That's remarkable. I don't remember the last time that's happened, if it's ever happened.
I feel you. Sports.
So, yeah, and then you got to wait. Look what we're waiting for the Cup. We got to wait till Wednesday for the Stanley Cup.
Sport is always going to go further back and further back and further back. I was watching the highlight, Maz, and I didn't realize the Yankees, when they were playing against the Diamondbacks, were the first World Series team to do what? Play in November. And that was 2002. Or 2001.
Yeah.
And now they're almost playing past Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the NFL season. Look, Super Bowls used to be in December. Like
Well, early January.
there's never been a Super Bowl in December?
No.
I might have to do my research on that
That's
one.
okay.
When
Trust me.
When OJ rushed for 2,000 yards in 14 games.
That was in December.
Oh, but technically, yeah, that was a Super Bowl.
No.
Oh, but that
the
wasn't the
last
Super
game
Bowl.
of the season.
100%.
That was the last game of the season. Buffalo, with
Fair.
OJ never made the Super Bowl.
Fair. NBA. Yeah, NBA.
It keeps going long, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Hockey in June is crazy.
Hockey goes long.
Yeah.
They like
Hockey in June.
Yeah,
Hockey navigates basketball skills. They're like, when can
Yeah.
we get on so people
They
are
do.
right.
True story.
They do.
Yeah, right.
That's why they start on Wednesday. NBA starts on Thursday.
Don't let it be a
At least
baseball
they got
game
that
of the
right.
week. Yeah.
At least they got that right.
Pete, can you put up a poll in the chat?
See the
Who do you
poll,
want to
Cougar?
win the NBA Finals? The
Gotcha.
Knicks, the Pacers, or the Thunder? Listen, guys, we were a little quiet for about 30 minutes on the Super Chats. Just had a couple more come in from Rando. He hit us with 2. Again, guys, this is the best prize pack we've put out so far. So make sure you get those Super Chats in. You've got 31 minutes exactly. Randall Smalls, Maz, all Michiganders hate New York and what they stand for.
All right.
It is awesome to see a New York fan begging.
What do
He
we-
dropped 2 super chats to say
What do we stand for?
Shout out Michael DeVries.
Tell me.
He sent out 5 Woodward memberships. Freddie felt he'll be grumpy until fall weather and go corn and blue. Sorry, he just said blue.
Appreciate that, man. Amazing blue. Go live.
Mike Reed, nice prize pack. He hopes he wins. And Michael Wary needs this bobblehead. But all you guys have a chance for it. Please get those super chats in up until 3:50.
Man, the one thing I believe that it could be, because I experienced this playing in New York, but being from here, is they perceive everything about New York is the Big Apple, is the CEO, is the Wall Street, is everybody in New York don't live like that. Everybody, in New York
Most people in New York don't live like that.
90% of people in New York not living.
It's called
like
the
that.
1% for a reason.
100%. So
Right.
you're a lot closer to a lot of guys and a lot of women in New York than you aren't. 100%.
The birth of sports talk.
I love my New Yorkers.
The birth of sports talk.
Like,
the
I love-
birth of
yeah.
sports talk.
100%. All right, look.
WFAN in New York.
I feel like that was like cricket over in UK like 100 years ago.
Fair enough. You know what? Let's get some of this lion sound in because it is Friday and we've been starving for this. Neither the Knicks or the Pacers play down the street.
Lions
So they hell with
fans.
both of them. Let's get in. Dan Campbell. Everyone's excited because the big guy, 97, left in. He's coming back this season. He's already been cleared to go, as you know. Here's Dan Campbell talking about Hutch and the pass rush.
Hutch OTA looks good. I mean, he's moving well. You don't see him favoring anything. I mean, he's bending, he's grabbing the grass. He's, he looks confident. And there again, that's without pads. So there's nothing to tell me that, man, the guy is not recovered or going to be recovered. As far as it deals with the pass rush, like yesterday, I'm glad you brought that up. So offensively, we kind of had this mid-cross. We had these 2 posts. We're trying to hit this deep shot, man, 34 yards to Laporta. It was awesome. And it took time, right? It takes time offensively to do that. And we did because we had to do walkthrough with the front, all right, the O-line and D-line. So it's hard to tell. We can't go hard enough to decide how good the rush is or how do we really prep it, get it better. We're not allowed to do that. So, but I am confident. Davenport looks good. There again, it's early too for him. And we're not in the physical nature of the game. We don't have pads on, but I like the guys we have in that room, and there again, training camp will make it right. 2
things. One, I love coaches that are former players because you see the excitement and still want to get out there. As soon as he starts talking about diagramming this play that happened to Sam Laporta, he gets away from the point. Okay, yeah, we were trying to hit these 2 crosses. We had him on this side, and it was just I love that, man. He's excited. Football is back. Maz, I'll start with you.
Yeah.
The other thing that I loved about it, he's so relaxed and calm. Whenever I see Dan Campbell with the hands on the podium and just gives the little 2 fingers to the right or the 1 finger to the left, he's dialed in, he's locked in, and he's very relaxed. That's good to see if you're a fan of the
Hell
Detroit
yeah,
Lions.
man. He's come a long way since
Taking the cap off.
Remember the first year when he was the Grand Prix and he had a driver's helmet on. You remember?
I remember that.
And the media, not us, but the national media, like Joy Taylor and them,
Crushed him.
they crushed him because he was the Grand Marshal
How's
of
she doing,
the
by the way?
Grand Prix. He's given pub to Detroit and love, and I'll never forget it. He looked like a little boy, putting
you
on a
not?
helmet. I mean, I loved it. I love this guy.
She's a
man.
Dolphin fan, by the way,
This
so don't
this
think too
guy,
much of it.
this guy represents us, man. I couldn't be more proud to have a coach represent my team, my football team. And yeah, we're on Super Bowl 60, and yeah, we never been to one. But this is the year. I truly, honestly, in my heart, believe if we stay relatively healthy, they're going to be in the Super Bowl with a shot to win it. And I think, like you said yesterday, it's going to probably be against the Bills. I really believe that.
Yeah, I like that too. Pete, a lot of times you'll see coaches just try to give some coach speak, and, say the things and make you feel good. But when he talks about Aiden, when he talks about his comfort level with Aiden coming back and what Aiden's doing now, I believe in what he says because he had not nearly necessarily a liar at that podium. What did you take from that conversation? How do you feel about it?
Well, yeah, I appreciate it, Bray. He definitely is a player's coach, obviously. I mean, he makes it known that he's not going to play the, PC, or not the PC, excuse me, that's the wrong. He's not going to do the political game. He's not going to say.
PC coach.
I'm sorry?
I got you. He's not going to do that
he's
BS.
not going to do the political game. He's not going to give you the answers that you want. He's one of the players. It's like being coached by one of your own teammates. It's like when another interesting example, it's like when Pete Rose was also the manager and first baseman of the Reds. Basically, that's what, if Dan Campbell could suit up and go out there and run a few tight end routes with Laporta and Brock Wright, you know that he would. And so that's what makes him just... He understands what Hutch is going through in his recovery. He understands what players are going through if they're not playing well, getting their mindset right. There is nobody better, I think, Bray, in my opinion, to coach the team the way that it's been set up than there's nobody better than Dan Campbell because of his understanding of how to be a player. And when you're not doing well, how to recover. When you're injured, how to recover. He's a player's coach, and he's a player's player.
Yeah, one thing you got to love about Dan Campbell, and this is his team and this is his city. He came back here. He chose here for a reason, and he's showing you why. One thing you also got to love, he takes care of his players. Even when players aren't necessarily doing everything right by the team, he finds ways to get guys back on track. One of those guys, and he's a hot topic here for the Detroit Lions. It is number uno, J-Mo.
Listen, he's had a good spring, and it's another one. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves in OTAs, but, I mean, there's so much versatility with him. There's so many things that we can do just with his routes on the outside. I mean, we can do things inside, but just with his speed, and he's gotten so much stronger. His ability to stop, put his foot in the ground. Man, when you can run like he can run, and now you're beginning to where, man, you can stop on a dime. I mean, you talk about a hard cover. So the sky's the limit for him. He's exactly where we want him to be right now at this point, man. He's been here. He's grinding. He's getting better. Scotty's freaking grinding him. It's awesome. But we expect him to have a huge season. We really do, man. He's going to be one of these guys that we're going to lean on this year, and it is really going to be big for us. And all he's got to do is just keep working like he's working, and we'll be good.
We can get rid of J-Mo. We don't need J-Mo. Why they bring it back to fifth-year option? Oh, my God. No, he's somebody. He's not an intricate part of what the Detroit Lions does. Right. No, you see what happens in the regular season. You've seen what's happened. You can't trust him. He's not there. What about hanging out over here? What about his brother? Everything that I heard out of Dan Campbell is the very first time that I've seen him glow about talking about what J-Mo is and what he's going to be. He still kept it in perspective. He said, right now, which I love about Dan Campbell, mixing not being political, right now,
right.
He said he's exactly where we want to be. He's so much stronger. There's so much versatility. The things that he can do. What did I talk about the clip yesterday?
The knee.
The knee. What did I tell you? I said,
told me he's completely healed.
I said.
And no one could do it. Maybe 10 players.
100. And I lied. It's 5.
Yeah.
Tariq Hill's one of those guys. Like Jamar Chase is one of those guys.
Yeah.
But with that being said, Anson, how are you hearing that about a guy in which we know when he goes, this offense can go that much further?
You said it. When he goes.
Yeah.
He's missed games through injury and through shenanigans, whatever
Fair.
Your opinion is of those. This guy seems locked and loaded, though. He's obviously put on some mass. We haven't heard anything bad about him. In fact, I'm pretty sure he got a diploma from Wayne State University this
100%
offseason.
he did.
That's amazing. Yeah. When you take the time to go and complete your education, when you're making
I didn't
millions
know
of
that.
dollars.
Yeah.
What's that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's a Tartar.
Well done.
Warrior. I miss the Tartars.
It'll always be Tartars.
Yes, me too, man. So
Tartars.
I look at him, and guys, I showed you that graphic while we were talking to Ermanni. We are up against it in a couple years. Now, he's going to get that team option. That's going to happen. But you're going to be starting to look at hard decisions. Can you pay him and Hutch
They already
and
picked
all
up
of the
his
other
option,
guys?
by the way.
What's that?
They already picked up his and Hutch's
they did.
option.
I did not know that,
Yeah,
which
did.
I knew that was happening.
Yeah.
That was a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
As long as he stayed clean all summer without or off season without any
was it
issues.
15 and 20?
Something like
I
that.
think it was 15 for
Yeah.
J-Mo, and I think it was
Exactly.
20 for Hutch.
And 25.
My question with him is I'm seeing guys like Spenny saying bet the over 1,300 yards. We've talked and we've shown the clips of Ben Johnson saying he hates the tush push because he wants explosive plays. I think that Morton's going to be a little bit more conservative because I think this team can be, and he'll probably be better suited to be. I see his his catches going up, not necessarily his yardage, but he's going to be such an instrumental part of this top 3 offense. Again, in a couple of years, we are really going to be up against some very tough decisions on who gets signed long-term and who maybe gets traded or let go.
Let me just say this, Anson. When you run the type of speed he runs, and now he's starting to be able to build it with his adult body or his grown man or that's the wrong word, his peak body, if you will. You got to add extra 250, 300 yards when you're that fast. Like, I give you an example. Most I ever had in the season, the Pro Bowl year, was 289. If I could run like J-Mo, easily at 1,500. Because it's just the carryover. The speed itself is going to get you into so many open spots, blown coverages, and you're going to leverage the defense. So his speed alone is going to account for an extra 250 to 300 yards. So 1,300 isn't far-fetched.
I really wish we had a true 40 on him, just because we all talk about his speed. We've all seen it. It feels like it when you watch him, man.
You think he still is?
Yes. Because what happens is after a year when you're younger and you do your ACL, you become your best self on that leg.
Wow.
And the leg that wasn't injured is already strong. So now the leg you injured becomes stronger than now when the body lines up, because you have to rehab. Rehab means you have to take everything a lot more serious. You're locked in.
He does get open, man.
So then once the body fully heals, which now you're looking at 2 years plus from his ACL, man, you're going to see some special things out of J-Mo this year.
I'm so happy. I'm so excited for the season.
last year?
I'm ready.
You said what?
How many games he missed? 2?
2 last year.
Okay, so, 1,000 yards, 58 catches. There's no reason he can't do 70 and push that 1,200-yard mark. I'll be impressed if they can get him over 13, just because there's so many weapons.
Yeah, we got one more. We got one more soundbite that I want to get to, and then also there is a free agent. There is a free agent with a lot of experience out there that could help this Detroit Lions team if the price is right.
We have one spot open, too.
100%, man. If the price is right, shout out to Bob Barker. Rest in peace.
Come on down.
Didn't he die at 99?
Yeah, he was great.
He almost made it.
I want to be
No,
Bob.
but if you go to 100, you go over.
Yeah.
No, 100 you win.
99.
He's in his 100th year.
I was trying to play it.
I still watch the old Price is Rights on Hulu.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hulu has the Bob Barker.
Where do you find this time?
I watch it.
Just
man.
in general or when you're homesick?
Like, man.
No, in general.
Okay,
No.
They're on
No,
YouTube.
you answered your own question. When you're homesick, Maz, you're sicko. Maz, you're an absolute sicko. Let me tell you about Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. You see the traps. I don't even have to flex, man. You see the traps coming through the shirt. It's because I go to Planet Fitness and I take my fitness serious. It's also because they have trainers at Planet Fitness with every membership that you get, so they can guide you in the right direction, man. You talk about squeaky clean. That's what those gyms are, man. It's a lot of fun to come to Planet Fitness. A lot of people doing a lot of great things. There's no judgment. And it's not expensive. It's a price point that fits into your budget. So come down to Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
The boys of summer are here, and Woodward Sports is all over the Motor City with the White Claw Tigers Tour. Come party with Woodward Sports, watch the Tigers, and sip on some White Claw all summer long. The best bars, big giveaways, live events, and a party that only Woodward Sports can throw. Ain't no party like a Woodward Sports party. Join us Friday, June 13th from 5 to 7 with the heavyweights at Nemo's in Corktown for the White Claw Tigers Tour, brought to you by White Claw and Ven Johnson.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Well, you've heard me say it many, many times. I will say it again. We are the numero uno, the number one sports digital media platform in this entire world that we live. And we have 6 ways for you to catch our 7 days a week programming. You can watch us over here on YouTube, Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitch. Come like, share, join, subscribe. We love you guys. Come be a part of our family.
Home but feeling in a financial pinch? Well, Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's $5,000 that you get to keep. How about it? Give them a call today, 248-290-8242. Try them online as well, markwhitesells.com. Again, that number, 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
Welcome back in. Braylon Edwards, Anson Wells, Tom Mazaway, Ricky Burns, as well as P. Spivak having a good time on this beautiful Friday that it's turning out to be. Before we let Maz take us around the NFL, which is his favorite segment, and mine too. I appreciate Maz's knowledge. But is anybody one of those individuals that books things or agrees to do things via email or text and not look at all the information?
Always.
If you will?
Oh, yeah.
So
We're shortcut takers.
Two things
Men
have happened.
are shortcut takers.
I'd be lost without my wife.
100% I agree with you. 2 things happened
Yeah,
today
it's the
to let
life.
me know this. I legitimately had a meeting at Mitchell's Seafood at 11. Had a meeting with, former Michigan guy,
Nice place to go.
Some friends of mine, if you will. Talk about some NIL, if you will. We're supposed to sit down. It comes through. I said, bet. 11 o'clock. Yep, it's Friday. It's the right day. Everything's cool. I didn't pay attention to the rest of the text. They had changed the date to June 6th, but they didn't change the update in the calendar. So I'm sitting in Mitchell's. You know me. Lloyd told me to be there, so it's 10:55. I'm there.
Lloyd told you to be there?
Well, no. Lloyd always told me to be 5 minutes early.
I was going to say, I know you were early if he told you.
10:55, 11, 11:05, 11:10. Finally, you guys coming? Braylon, it's June 6th. What are you talking about? I had to go back and look at the text. Sure enough.
Next Friday.
It says June 6th, be there. Fast forward. The New York Jets are doing this cruise. They do fan experience alumni cruises. The Saints have done one. The Chargers have done one, I think. A couple other teams. The Jets are doing one. They hit me in February. I say I want to do it, love it. You know me, I'm JETS. I'm excited. It's in July. We're going to have fun. Emailed the guy, gave my information. I signed the docu and all that kind of stuff. I'm excited. I reach out today to say, hey, haven't heard the information because you get paid a little bit up front as well as when you get on, and I want to ask them a passport situation. They reached out and said, oh, yeah, all this is good, and you'll get paid your first allotment a month before the cruise, and then you'll get the rest on the cruise. I said, okay, cool. It's a month before. They say, yeah, it's 2026. I'm like, what? Here it is.
You thought you were going next month.
Yes.
Yeah.
Since February, I thought I was going. Long story short, make sure you're reading all the fine print, all the details, because a lot of stuff, it's on us. Like, I know this case, both of them are my fault. So read all the information is my story to you.
All right.
You want to take us around the NFL?
I do.
All right, hang on.
Big trades, big moves. Who is starting? Who's injured? What does it all add up to? It's time for Around the NFL on Ermanni and Edwards with Maz.
All right, fellas, I got one more Lion cut for you, and it comes from our head coach, Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell says this year, 2025, it's all setting up for us.
Hutch OTA looks good. I mean, he's moving well. You don't see him favoring anything. He's bending, he's grabbing the grass. He looks confident. And there again, that's without pads. So there's nothing to tell me that, man, the guys not recovered are going to be recovered. As far as it deals with the pass rush, like yesterday, I'm glad you brought that up. So offensively, we kind of had this mid-cross. We had these two posts. We're trying to hit this deep shot, man, 34 yards to Laporta. It was awesome. And it took time, right? It takes time offensively to do that. And we did because we had to do walkthrough with the front, all right, the O-line and D-line. So it's hard to tell. We can't go hard enough to decide how good the rush is or how do we really prep it, get it better. We're not allowed to do that. So, but I am confident. Davenport looks good. You know, it's early too for him. And we're not in the physical nature of the game. We don't have pads on, but I like the guys we have in that room. And there again, training camp will make it right.
All right. We played that cut for you already, fellas. We played that cut for you.
Wanted to play again, show the excitement of Dan Campbell talking about the Sam Laporta run.
Thank
so
you,
excited he is for this season, man. He's getting his guys back. Aiden was one of those guys. Sam Laporta. He's another guy that missed some games last year due to some injuries. So it's just fun to see Dan excited about his guys again.
I'm actually glad that we played that again because I wanted to mention something. How old do you think Marcus Davenport will be at the start of the season?
31.
28.
29. He will be 29 in September. You know, we look at the Emmanuel Mosleys, the C.D. Lambs, or C.D.
He was
Deuces,
the number one draft pick.
But these guys that have been injured and kept getting signed on, has there been any free agent that's gotten as much flack from the fans as Marcus Davenport?
Well, he's only played 2 games.
Well, certainly, and I get that, but I don't think that Lion fans understand how much faith this team has in him contributing this year.
This is true, but the Lions fans also saw all the faith they had in Emmanuel Mosley.
Right.
I think an instance like that is why you're a little bit cautious when you hear. Because, look, I agree. The stories that are coming out of Allen Park, the stories about him staying all off season, him working with J-Maw, him figuring it out, him looking like an Adonis, as Maz likes to use, and figuring this sport
Look at that
out.
body.
100%. Like he's
the body.
This guy right here, man. So you're excited, but at the same time, you know that Dan Campbell has a habit picking these injured players, and a lot of these injured players, whether they were drafted guys like Josh Pascal who were waiting to finish the season, or they were guys that he bought over like a Emmanuel Mosley, Marcus Davenport. They're guys that you're like, oh, here we go again. So I understand it from the standpoint, but waiting to see will be the thing.
All
Pete,
right.
we have that. Are we going to find that clip, or it's the wrong?
It was one of those
say
weird.
less.
Yeah.
It's a watch thing.
You good,
Maz.
yeah.
So do we have it?
No,
we do
go ahead,
not.
Tommy. Yeah, move on.
Look at the first around the NFL
Yeah.
Okay.
player.
So we don't have it.
Yeah, I'm
No, we
sorry,
do not.
Thomas.
Okay, so let's talk about the guy that Braylon teased to us earlier.
I did.
It's a free agent linebacker. Yes, a free agent linebacker by the name of Von Miller, who says he wants to play one last year before calling it a career. He's just waiting for the right team and the right place for him to finish. Von Miller, what do you think?
If the price is right, I don't necessarily have a problem with it. Look, I know Von personally. You know, you're not bringing in a Von Miller that's going to get you 17, 18 sacks. You know, you're not necessarily bringing in a Von Miller that got to the Los Angeles Rams in 2022, had 5 sacks in the playoffs, including 2 in the Super Bowl, and helped them secure another championship. His second, mind you, he was Super Bowl MVP of 50. But there is something for a guy that's won 2 Super Bowls. He's done it in 2 places. People speak very highly of. You know, you adding those pieces. You're adding those championship pieces. You talk about Alex Caruso and what he means to the Thunder. You know, we were talking about Pascal Siakam and what he means to the Pacers. Having guys that have played in that environment, played in the arena, and actually crossed the finish line, they're very invaluable to that.
Crucial.
And you're talking about another body on that defensive line. So if the price point was potentially right, I don't have a problem with Von Miller. And also, I would not even sign Von Miller until later on in the season.
Do we have to give up 2 first-rounders like
No,
the
not
last
at
time
all.
he was traded?
No, not at all.
Count me in.
Not at all. Not at all. I don't think you would have to do that. You know, he signed that crazy deal with the Buffalo Bills, which I thought was even me, yes, the guy that likes all the studs, pause. I thought that was way too much for him at that age. It was a $140 million deal, and he was coming off 2 knee surgeries. But now, I see it as a different match. I like what Vaughn could bring to the team. It's nothing like having, he's a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah. He said, listen, I can roll out of bed and rush the passer.
He's right.
And I'm a locker room guy. He said, I'm a locker room guy. I think he's talking to Dan Campbell when he says I'm a locker room guy.
There you go.
All right, that's what I like about
He
him.
ain't talking to the Eagles.
Now I'll tell you this: I still think I would rather have Zadarius Smith as my last guy on this team
Could you get both?
than Von Miller.
I think Zadarius does a little bit more, but can I pause you real quick because we got 5 minutes left to get into this raffle. I'm kind of blown away not seeing the super chats and the entries I thought I would. Amazing prize package. We'll also read out whatever you had to say, but you got 5 minutes to get in, and I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to double
Get
your
crazy.
entries. Whoever super chats over the next 5 minutes, I am doubling your entries. Let's go.
All right. There's been a trade earlier today.
Yes.
Okay.
Between the Eagles and the 49ers. Philadelphia is sending Bryce Huff, the edge rusher,
There you go,
to the
buddy.
49ers for a mid-round draft pick. They're going to rework his contract. 49ers are going to pick up some money. The Eagles made moved some money around to give him like a bonus. But it looks like Bryce Huff is heading to San Francisco.
That's a great pickup for the San Francisco 49ers. You saw the season that he had a couple years ago. 2 years ago, he had a really good season last year. Okay. As it relates to the Eagles, I don't think this does anything to the Eagles. I think the Eagles are in a space of – I could be wrong, Anson. I think the Eagles are in a space – we won a championship. We got a lot of young pieces on the defensive side of the ball, and our offense is intact. We can move some pieces here and there, and we believe we still will get to the game. And also, if we don't, we'll be okay. See, that's the part of being in the front office that they don't tell you, man. They're not telling the fan base, if we don't win this year, we're really not mad. But that's what I think the Eagles' energy is.
Cue Ball just threw a $20 bill down.
I got him.
Oh, yeah, and Paper Chungus outing himself over and over. Obsessed much, my friend? Michael Weary, Von on a team-friendly deal. Take the chance. I agree. Cue Ball dropped in 20. My man getting the double in there. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, that whole situation, it is what it is, man.
Dolphins and Steelers talking about a trade of a tight end. Name is Jonnu Smith. Jonnu worked with the Steelers offensive coordinator back in his Tennessee days. That's Arthur Smith. So Jonnu Smith could be on the move from Miami to Pittsburgh. What do you think of that one?
I'm going to be excited about this, man. Looking at this, man, I'll just read to you.
They still don't have a quarterback.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine with that. This is a damn good player. You bring him to Pittsburgh. This is a player that you could use. It's a player that can help insert quarterback here. But once again, the Pittsburgh Steelers have put themselves in a situation where you're one of these story franchises where you let Ben get too long in the tooth. He finally retired. You had no replacement, and you're now begging a 41-year-old quarterback, soon to be 42, fresh off an Achilles 2 years ago. You're begging him to come back and quarterback a team that you don't even know if you guys can make the playoff. I almost feel bad for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they got 5 championships, so I don't.
I don't either.
Exactly.
I don't either.
Going back to that last one, I think the entire NFL and Detroit fans are absolutely looking past the 49ers, and that's not a good thing. This is a team that had a very injured offense and an injured defense last year. They've added pieces. They've got a healthy Christian McCaffrey. I think as skilled as Debo is, his desire to have the ball, getting rid of that, Juwan Jennings is a player. They've got the best tight end in the league, maybe aside from Brock Bowers, and they're pissed. This is a team that knows that they've had an opportunity to win a Super Bowl, and they want to get back. I think that people are not seeing the 49ers on anybody's playoff list. Huge oversight.
Trey Hendrickson in the news again. He is doubling down, guys.
Good.
He says, look,
Good.
I'm willing to miss games.
Good.
I'm willing to sit out the entire season.
Good.
Unless I get a new deal from the Bengals or I get traded.
And good for him.
line.
Look, we're dealing with the era where players can talk. Players can talk. And also all the information is out there. Like, this is no longer back in the 80s and the 90s where they can hide information and now you think that the player is the asshole. Excuse my French. It's not like that. And then to have somebody come out and speak so well talking about the matter. Just lay it all out there for you. Hey, look, you okay over there, Pete?
Sorry.
You all right over there, man? I thought you was about to die in there, man. You all right?
No,
I need to
you're
come in
good.
and
I love
check,
it.
check you out.
I love you. No, Ricky
right,
makes me
cool.
laugh.
Making sure we're
Don't
good.
blame that on me.
Ricky makes me
No,
laugh.
I
Be
didn't
good.
do that.
I'm not mad. I got a little inner office conversation going on. But no, just he's laid it all out there. Like, what else do you want or need me to do? Like, I've done everything you've asked me to do. You told me to come out, show yourself this year. We're talking about last year. all right, cool. You know what? I won't get the contract. I'll wait. You know what? I have faith in the system. I have faith in my team. I have some great moments. Like he told you, my son was born down the street. I was married down the street. Like, this is where I'm trying to make my home. To come out and still not have anything done, he's having to tell you, look, if this is the severe route that I need to go, to miss games, because I feel like when you throw the missing games out there, that's when people take it serious. That's when the fan base gets up in the roar. So kudos to him.
Hey, before the last break, Anson, the last couple of super chats, you want to read them? Now
Real
we got
quick,
one last break.
I know. Wow, they're just pouring in right
Let's
now.
go.
Cue ball. He just dropped another 20. He wants that Bates. Nitty gritty. Detroit versus everybody. Go Lions, Wings, Pistons, and Gritty Tigers. Michael Wary, Anson. Will Hooper be part of the package? No, my friend. That is a permanent fixture here on
And
the
neither
desk.
will that other card there.
We got
We're going to get to that when we spin it. Freddie Felt, EA CFB 26 will play Mr. Brightside before the
rolling
fourth
in.
quarter when
Hey,
you
there we
play
go, Mr. Brightside.
as Michigan at the Big House. Go Blue. P.S. Braylon is the GOAT. This is true. Randall Smalls, he had to do it. He got back in. DeVries drops a 10 in there. Wary Vaughn on a team-friendly deal makes a lot of sense. Cue ball with another $20 chat.
Let's go.
Mike Reed with another 20. Detroit versus everybody. Cue ball dropped in another 20. Let's go nitty gritty. I'm in. Everybody.
Hey,
on it, baby.
can I tell
Heat
Cue Ball? Can I tell Cue Ball something? You could go to the game on tomorrow, the Michigan Panthers game, and pay less than you gave us.
Stop it. Stop it.
Man,
Stop it.
Why would you do that?
I'm joking. He lives in a different city.
Okay.
I'm
He lives
messing
in
with you,
a different state. My bad.
You know what, Anson? Since you're bumping your gums, why don't you bump your gums about Les Stanford?
Oh, listen, man. They've got the inventory in town. You can see 3 of their awesome choices above my head right there. That 2025 Sierra, you can get into that for only $169. The players, that Hummer is for you, $699 a month for the 2025 Hummer, and that Envision for only $259 a month. Get to Les Stanford today, and they've got more than just this and that massive inventory. Les Stanford, Buick and GMC, lesstanford.com. Together,
Let's drive, baby.
Are you a real Detroit sports fan? Woodward Sports is here to give you all the Detroit sports you can handle. Weekdays, make sure you're locked in on Wake Up Woodward from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Followed by Big D Energy with Neil Rule and Darren McCarty from 11 a.m. to 1. Up next, you can't miss Ermanni Edwards with Maz from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And finish the day out with the bad boys of Detroit sports media, the Woodward Heavyweights, from 5 to 7 p.m. Okay, wait, that isn't enough for you, you sports freak. Check out Woodward Wings, Woodward Ringside, and the Lions Weekly Update every Sunday with Broder, Terry Foster, and Sean Belegian. Subscribe on YouTube for all our great content, and make sure you're following on all social media, X, IG, Facebook, and TikTok. You want sports? We got you covered. Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The outdoors of summer are here, and Woodward Sports is all over the Motor City with the White Claw Tigers Tour. Come party with Woodward Sports, watch the Tigers, and sip on some White Claw all summer long. The best bars, big giveaways, live events, and a party that only Woodward Sports can throw. Ain't no party like a Woodward Sports party. Join us Friday, June 13th from 5 to 7 with the heavyweights at Nemo's in Corktown for the White Claw Tigers Tour, brought to you by White Claw and Ben Johnson.
You know what time it is, everybody. It's my favorite read of the show. Scan that QR code above my head. Use that code word over there, Woodward1000. Open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. When you do so, make your first deposit and your first bet of $20 or more. If that first bet happens to lose, you get that first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000, but only if you scan that QR code above my head. Use that code word over there, Woodward1000, to open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. Gentlemen.
And we're back.
Yeah, no, I apologize, man. I sending somebody a thank you.
You're
for
booking your cruise?
No, I'm a year ahead on that.
I'm still going.
I'm a little ahead on that.
Ricky and I, we're gonna take you to the dock and drop you off.
I appreciate that, man.
Right.
You have to drive to New York, so get ready for a
I'm
9.5 hour drive.
Yeah, that's
I'm
mad.
ready.
I love it.
How long does it take you to get to
9.5 is the best.
Okay.
What?
9.5.
9 to 9.5 is
I'll
the
meet
best.
y'all there. I'm
9.5.
flying. I'm not doing that.
To New York?
Yeah,
I made it
fine.
9 hours and 12 minutes.
that depends on construction.
Well,
pal.
it was at night, and I flew.
Here, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about the best team in the MLB. It is our own Detroit Tigers.
Hell yeah.
They take the mound tonight against the Kansas City Royals. Casey Mize, I want to say, is on the mound. Maz,
And
what
Seth Lugo.
do you expect out of this Detroit Tigers team against the
Yep.
Royals?
We got
It's a
7 games
divisional.
here. 7 road games. You got 3 against the Royals, 4 against the White Sox. You got to come home 5-2. Got to come home 5-2. Hey, 7-0 would be outstanding. Just win the series. Win the series. I want to see Casey Mize go 7 strong tonight. Hell, I want to see him go all the way. Go all the way tonight. Follow Scooble from last week. Casey Mize is rounding into form. He was that #1 pick a bunch of years ago, and he's starting to show you why. And I'm on the Casey Mize bandwagon. Go Tigers, man. Best record in baseball. I can't. 37-20, man. Come on. Whoever would have thought that? Whoever would have thought that? It'll be fun tonight. Also, the Oilers last night finished up.
Houston?
They finished up. The Edmonton Oilers have finished up the Dallas Stars. They win it in 5, 6-3. Guess what? We got a rematch. Since the first time, since the Red Wings Penguins rematch,
right.
go all the way back to then. We got a rematch. It's the Panthers at the Oilers coming up on Wednesday, and the Oilers. Who's their favorite? Who's their best player?
Connor McDavid, baby.
Connor McDavid, the captain.
Best number in the game.
Diggity,
He
diggity,
grabbed the
David.
Campbell Bowl because last year they didn't touch it and they lost in 7. They remember that. This year he says, I'm going to try something different. Grab that Campbell Bowl, posed with the team. They're going to be a tough match.
Streak
This
ends,
is going to
Tom.
be great hockey.
The streak ends tonight.
The problem is it's on TNT, and I got to listen to Kenny Albert. But besides that, it's all good. I'm loving it. Down to the final 2 teams starts Wednesday in Edmonton.
thing that I love about
Go Panthers.
thing I love about pro sports in this last year is you're seeing the superstars win. Yeah, it is what it is. Like the superstars have been winning. LA Dodgers last year, Shohei Ohtani the whole game, they won. You look at the Super Bowl, superstars on that Philadelphia Eagle team. You can say that Mahomes was a superstar. I beg to differ when you go down the totality of that team. And then in basketball, superstars won this year. The MVP, SGA, he's the best player in the game. Not named Jokic, but that's semantics. It's him. Baseball, same thing. Hockey, excuse me. Finally, Connor McDavid. Finally, Connor McDavid.
Can it be?
I think this is his year.
Can they win? I mean, the Canadian team has not won since the Canadians
It's
in
over.
93.
They're going to win.
1993.
It's go time.
The last team from Canada to win the cup.
You went over your allotted hockey time. However, we have not gone over 100 likes. With all the people in here, this amazing prize package, amazing super chats today, and we need
know what?
33 more likes. Braylon, tell them to smash the like button.
Look, smash the like button, but I will say this, though. They may not be smashing that like button, man, but It's 166 in the chat.
Yeah, they
right
crushed
now.
it today.
So, you
They
know,
crushed
we
it.
give you a break. Look, we appreciate the other side of it. If we don't get to 100, that'll be okay. But next week, you got to big up the lights for my guy.
Hey, did the Knicks win the poll?
No, the Knicks did not win the bowl, and I
No.
appreciate you bringing that up.
Poll
In
was won by
fact,
OKC.
it kind of disappeared on me. Oh, here it is.
62% for OKC.
OKC 57%. I am a little shocked by that, to be honest with you. Pacers at 27, and the lowly New York Surfs at 14%.
I signed in and out. I voted like 3 times.
I
for
bet
the
you
Knicks.
did.
Sure you did.
One thing is nobody hates the West. Like, and we're an East city. We're an East franchise base. So you don't hate the West necessarily. You hate the Knicks. You hate the Pacers and whatever. And then also, the team is just too cool. Like, they're a cool
They
team. I
are a
don't
cool
dislike anybody on the team. I don't dislike anybody on OKC. So that's
For real,
weird.
right?
Pete,
Yep.
where we at with the spin? You getting close?
I'm ready to go.
You ready to rock and
Yeah,
roll?
let's rock and roll,
Ladies
man.
and gentlemen.
We go.
All right.
we ready?
Pete, we will put it on you. You spin when you're ready.
All right, everybody, let's get ready to spin Anson's Friday Freaky Wheel. Go, baby.
While this thing spins, guys, I want to let you all know that Pistol Pete, MV Pete, will be at the Detroit Sports Spectacular at the Novi Expo Center this weekend. He will be passing out some Woodward Sports swag. So go out there this weekend and find him and get hooked up with some Woodward merch. And Matthew Weary, I believe.
Michael Weary?
Is it? And it is! Weary wanted that bobblehead!
Shocker.
You are also getting some Woodward merch.
my
You're getting
God.
this amazing prize package.
Cue ball is pissed.
Turn up
Cue Ball
there,
is
man.
pissed.
Oh,
Hey, listen,
no.
we appreciate you guys so much driving this fun every time I'm in here. I'll be back a few days next week as well. I'll be
Oh,
bringing
Cue
some
Ball.
awesome stuff for
It's a
you.
shocker.
And I'm excited for all you guys with all your plans this weekend. The card show, the Grand Prix, the Michigan Panthers, and all you
Hey.
Detroiters, everybody in the chat. I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a wonderful
Hey,
weekend.
look for our Woodward sports team at the Grand Prix.
That's right.
All of us are going to be down there.
Ooh.
You might even find me down there with my headphones on, so my ears don't
Yes.
get blown out. Anyway, have a great weekend, everyone. Bray, get us out of here.
Look, man, we appreciate you guys, man. We appreciate the energy. We appreciate the flow, man. You guys make this show. You drive this show along with my co-host, Anson Wells, man. We appreciate you. Guess what? We get to do this again next week. Enjoy your weekend, man. For Ricky, Pete, Tom, Anson, I'm Braylon. We're out of here.
Thank you, gentlemen.